It's the Hip Hop School.
It's that time.
Past and present podcast.
It's that time.
All regions stand up.
On your feet.
North, south,
everywhere.
east,
Where you at?
west, Midwest.
You
Where you
know
at?
the rule. Act a fool. You gotta be tight with your tool when you go to the Hip Hop School. These grown niggas crying off Primo Fur and Deja Rule, child. Get out your feelings, you get booed at the Hip Hop School. You know the rule. Act a fool. You gotta be tight with your tool when you go to the Hip Hop School. Nigga can't be mad cause you got swag and easy cool. Bitch, I'm a motherfucking problem. Knowledge rule at the Hip Hop School. You know the rule. Act a fool. You gotta be tight with your tool when you go to the Hip Hop School. Can't look like that cause men too son got artifacts. The truth is cruel, but that's just fuel at the Hip Hop School. Past and present.
What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome to another episode of the Hip Hop School Past and Present podcast. I am Asia, the assistant principal. You have Supreme Rich Rawhide, the principal. You have Heezy, the dean of all things hip hop. And down below me, you have Baba Amin in the building from the Uhuru Academy. What's up, fellas? How y'all doing tonight?
What's up with it? What's up, Hip Hop School?
Oh man, I'm all good. You know how it is. It's Friday. Ready to get the show on the road.
Yes, man, we have an incredible show tonight. We will be talking about some of the trending topics that has hit headlines, and we'll also be getting into our main topic, talking about what is the culture, defining the culture and the state of the culture as it is today. And like we do each and every week, we're gonna start this thing off with a hip hop trivia question. This week's hip hop trivia question is brought to you by our sponsors, Art by Chunk G, the Uhuru Academy, Lit and Leisure Travel, Deaths of the Asia, and Supreme's Pull Up. This week's hip hop trivia question is, what was the name of the song Coolio sampled for his song Gangsta's Paradise? Again, what was the name of the song that Coolio sampled for his song Gangsta's Paradise? Y'all try to answer that down below in the comments. At the end, we will reveal the answer to that trivia question. And with that being said, class is in session.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. So we're gonna start this thing off with some of our trending topics. One being Eminem, he bought out Bud in his fight against Vince, and I think he was feeling himself a little bit, and he went in a booth and he done took some shots at the game. He done took some shots at Melle, and it's looking like Eminem really want that smoke.
He took some shots at black folks too.
Yeah, man.
Gen Z.
Yeah, Gen Z.
He
finally tried reverse racism, everything.
Yeah, he finally responded, man. It was to me, it was trash. He had a couple lines in there when he was talking about, when he said, he is a guest in the house of hip hop. He turned it into a mansion and some shit. Like, he had a line or two in there that was all right, but overall,
I did see that. I did see that. Y'all man, show some respect for the rap god.
Yeah, but overall, when he changed up his voice and changed up his cadence and got to doing all that bullshit he usually do, I was like, nah, this is the same old Eminem shit. It ain't nothing.
Say y'all right.
Nothing I can fuck with. You know what I'm saying? Me
so
personally.
he's saying he made the white man is colder. He made it better.
Well, he say he turned to a man, but he also said the only reason why he ain't number one is because he white. He say he not top 5 because he white. He just can't be number 1 because he white.
Right. Right. What y'all think about that?
I ain't gonna lie. I ain't supposed to let motherfuckers get off easy because black folks is lazy, Negroes and got lazy and complacent. He ate. That white boy ate y'all ass up. Come back.
Yeah, they need to come back.
Come back. Thing is, I ain't giving nobody no outs.
I know people feel some type of way, but I'm glad he did it because hip hop is competitive, and Eminem has been sitting back for years, just taking whatever people say. He never really clapped back. When you see him clapping back, a lot of times it's people like pop singers and Machine Gun Kelly.
Right.
So what do you say about the game?
Huh?
What do you say about the game?
Oh, he ain't mentioned the game name directly, but I think what people saying that the shot at the game was when he said people don't play me in the clubs, but the only reason they play you in the clubs is because you still in the club type shit. He said something line like that.
Yeah. Because Game was saying, because Game said he's better than Eminem.
Right.
And one of the things he was saying, like, you don't never walk in the club and hear Eminem song. So in Eminem's verse, he was like, you don't hear me, and they still play you in the club because you still perform in the club.
Right.
Ooh, shots fired.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like you still perform there. And he in stadiums. So I mean, hey, it warrants a response. And I'm not finna say he trash, so Game them can say it's trash. I ain't gotta say that. No, it wasn't trash, Game. He came at your neck. Go get him.
Hey, but he came at Melle directly, called him, say he on roids, say, you know what I'm saying, he juiced up.
Hey, so what's his beef with Melle?
Then he called him boy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I gotta see what Melle did to me, but I think Melle's one of the ones that say he can't be considered the GOAT.
Yeah. Melle said that Eminem is only considered top 5 because he's white.
Because he's white.
That's what started the whole shit.
And y'all know how I feel about it. I think that is so tired. Like I think that when people say stuff like that and take away from the fact that Eminem really can spit, whether you like his content or not, the man really can spit. At the end of the day, that's just like with when he had Bob Bud out and everything. People was laughing and cracking jokes before then, but it's not like Bud gonna get clowned for real because he bought out Eminem. He in
if he would have lost.
He in that category with the greats. He's in that conversation with the greats. The greatest rappers that's alive right now are his peers, and we just gotta keep it a buck. You might not like it, but it is what it is. And to discredit him because he's white, I think that actually does black people a disservice. Get that man his props and compete against him. Don't be trying to shoo him off and be like, oh, you only got this because you white, and that's a lie, because it ain't nobody else in that same conversation of greatness like Eminem.
He's only like that because he's white.
Why your boy Paul Wall ain't up there in rankings with your Kanye Wests and your Jay-Z's?
Because he didn't have the same machine behind it. And Paul Wall and Eminem was a little more he was more acceptable to white America, especially the rebellious Paul Wall.
Okay, that goes to show that you ain't keep up with Eminem and you didn't listen to his music, because white America does not like Eminem.
Yes, man, white America loves
Eminem. He made that song, White America, talking about the Columbine, not the
working class white America.
Not the people, not the
his number one fan base.
It's the ones that's like into hip hop or whatever.
No.
But
white people love Eminem.
A lot of them like
corporate
Eminem.
White people love Eminem. No,
but when Eminem, I tell you, he's not one of those rappers where it's just okay. They gravitate towards him because he's white. Because Eminem was very controversial in his career.
Yeah, when he first came out,
Eminem show, all of that White America song.
That was just white. He was going as white establishment.
His mama.
Yeah, they like
this, man. Yeah, I'm a writer. I'm a writer, and I'm an MC, and you can't take nothing away from his skill level. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't take nothing away from his skill level, because I understand the craft. I understand what it takes to put words together, and he's good, man. He's elite at that. You know what I'm saying? I don't identify with his music. I don't listen to Eminem music. You know what I'm saying? But I don't listen to much Wu-Tang, but I don't deny their impact on hip hop, and I don't deny their greatness. But there is a wow factor when you see white people doing traditionally black things that give them a little extra It's just that he may be the one that came along that was actually good at it. You know what I'm saying? And so is his skill level, does it surpass the white wow factor? That's the question.
I think it does. Because otherwise he still wouldn't be there in that conversation in that category.
I agree.
He's the only one in that category.
I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna keep it real. You know what I'm saying? Although I'm from Detroit, I was here from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? And people talking about motherfuckers don't play Eminem in the hood. At one point, they did. You know what I'm saying? When that Marshall Mathers LP came out, motherfucker, everywhere you went, you heard Eminem, you heard that Superman shit, you heard all that shit that was on that Marshall Mathers LP. You know what I'm saying? In the parks, in the clubs, all that shit. So if motherfuckers say they weren't playing Eminem at some point, that's cap. Even I say I was fucking with Eminem at that point. But after that, you know what I'm saying? He just kind of trailed off and went to his white boy fan base and he started catering to them, and it just wasn't the same. Because Marshall Mathers LP had all them features. You know, you had Snoop, you had Exhibit and shit all on there. So it was more West Coast.
He's Charlie Pride.
I've been saying that.
He's the Charlie Pride of hip hop. Country music got Charlie Pride. He's the only black dude in country that can go anywhere and be a top country singer. You know what I'm saying? And they accept him. He in there with Klan members and everything. But he's fucking Charlie Pride.
Yeah.
Eminem is hip hop's Charlie Pride.
And that's the reason why I say it's ridiculous when they be like, because he's white. And it's like, it's only one. It's literally only one white guy that's in that conversation. It's other white rappers, you know, but he's the only one white guy in that conversation. So to be like, oh, it's just because he's white, that's ridiculous. That means that he really had to be just that good to stick. That's how I look at it.
But my thing is, the other interesting part is, you know, Melle pioneer. You know what I'm saying? He from that, you know, actually even before the golden era. And a lot of MCs from that era, Rakim and all that shit like that, they love Eminem. You know what I'm saying? They say Eminem is the GOAT. So now I'm thinking like, if they got to choose sides, is they fucking with him or is they fucking with Melle now? You know what I'm saying? Since he a pioneer and he was, you know, one of the first ones. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think Eminem is the GOAT, but I think he's definitely deserving to be in the GOAT conversation. And you really done broke Supreme Soul, because he wasn't ready for you to admit to the fact that you was riding around listening to Eminem. You don't really look at him. He looks so beautiful.
Like I said, that Marshall Mathers LP, that was probably the only time. But
Eminem is not in the GOAT conversation. You know what I'm saying?
But it's not.
He's not in the GOAT conversation.
He's not in the GOAT conversation, but it's not a thing like I would frown upon if he got brought up in the GOAT conversation either.
Hey, it depends on who you talk to, because he got the numbers, right?
Well, I mean, if you're just talking about record sales, he's a record sales GOAT. He's up in that conversation. But if you're talking about hip hop, and we're gonna talk about the culture, if you're talking about as far as impact on hip hop culture overall and overall, you know what I'm saying, longevity and things like that. Yeah, like you put everything into it, he's not in the conversation. If you're talking substance, if you're talking impact, he's not in the conversation as far as I'm concerned. That's not taken away from it still, but I wouldn't put him in the GOAT conversation. Hip hop is too old, it's too much that's gone into the culture to put him in that conversation.
But yet people will put Biggie in the conversation. I think Eminem is more deserving to be in the conversation than Biggie is.
I think Biggie probably on the same tier.
If you're gonna put one in there, you gotta have the other one.
Tier, but neither one of them.
That nigga easy. Watch for the guy. Can't got to bring both of them in.
Hey, one in there, you gotta have the other one, man. That's all I'm saying. So
man,
fuck that shit.
I ain't gonna make no more lists then, because I ain't now one in my GOAT come.
No, mine either, man. Mine either. You know, they might be on the same tier. It's not GOAT though. It's not GOAT status.
Hey, but what y'all think about? You know what I'm saying? I don't know if y'all heard the song. So, Baba Amin, you heard the song, right?
Yeah, I heard.
Preem, did you hear it? Did you hear the? Okay, so what you think about they new artists? Because now they pushing this new white boy now, right? He like a drill.
He was corny.
Yeah, he like a drill type white boy rapper, almost like a 6ix9ine kind of. You know,
right? He sounded corny. He didn't sound authentic to me. He sounded corny. Exactly. He sounded like Eminem wrote his verse. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't feeling him at all. He was trying too hard. So it was corny. You know, I can look past a fancy cadence and see if you really he sounded manufactured. So I didn't feel that young cat at all. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I don't think it's a good idea for them to try to push him in their direction anyway, because it's inauthentic.
Yeah. M just put the diss on the song to give it traction. That's the only reason why the diss is on there. Because other than that, the song is forgettable. The hook
and
is
M better be careful with that, because one thing we can say about Eminem is throughout his whole career, he's never tried to make pretend or act like he's black or anything like that. So it's gonna he kind of needs to be careful with trying to push somebody in that direction, you know, writing for him and everything. If that's really how dude is, let him be that. But all at the same time, I think this is one of those things that Eminem should stand down on and just play in the shadows, because if he do that, then it's gonna seem like it's cultural appropriation, and that's gonna fall back on Eminem, and it's gonna take him down a couple notches. So he probably want to stand down and not,
because you dissing a pioneer in hip hop. You dissing a pioneer in hip hop, a godfather of hip hop, on a song with another white artist that's appropriating the culture. And that's not a good look at all. You know what I'm saying? I think he should have left Melle alone, period. You know, my uncle tell me I ain't shit, I don't say nothing back.
Well, I'm gonna cuss my uncle out. That's how I am. But
well, you know what I'm saying? but a lot of us, man, if it's an elder and they start talking shit, you might say something, but you don't come at them hard. Like not me. You know what I'm saying? And because some of them, man, leave Uncle such alone, man. Go on with that bullshit, you know. But you know, I don't think he should have came at Melle at all, you know, on a song. You know what I'm saying? Maybe talk about it in an interview. But you know, now, bro, don't do that. And you're on a song with another white artist. I didn't feel that.
Look, but Money gonna say Deasia, whatever he's smoking on must be Deasia, whatever he's smoking on must be some good stuff. But Money, I'm the big fish. You don't want it with me. I'm the big fish. You pick one of, you know what I'm saying? I'm the big fish. You don't want it with me in the car.
Big fish got took out last week, so I don't know if you want to be claiming the big fish. Big fish got took out last week, so
well, I'm the biggest. Then, you know what I'm saying? All puns intended. But Money said if he did Bombada, I wouldn't care. Yeah, that's who he should have went at.
Yeah.
Bombada, I would have seen he should have got on the track and this Bombada and talked about how Bombada was oiling his nuts for Hassan Campbell. That's what he should have talked about. Now that would have got the people going with them oily balls. That's what he should have been talking about.
But I don't know what's gonna happen with this shit, man. Because Melle, he done hung it up a long time ago, so I don't think we're gonna get no response from Melle. But
well, you know what? I'm not mad at him for dissing Melle because Melle was just in a hotel room, you know, punching down a woman.
Supposedly.
Yep, he was just in a hotel room, you know, on some domestic violence or whatever. But I kind of think old girl was lying or whatever the case may be. But he was still in the moment because she wanted him to stay, didn't want him to leave, and was mad because the police was finna take him away. Girl, what did you got going on? You lying out there, dope.
Yeah, Melle
might come back though. Whack ass white boys everywhere.
Deasia
and we just don't care. Let me help Melle. Let me call Melle out. We're gonna redo the mess and make it an Eminem.
Deasia in Detroit helped Macklemore get rap album of the year. Every time my name pop up, I'm finna flag it as spam.
Get on the ass, so you see what's going on, man.
Nobody even listens to Macklemore. Come on, stop playing. I don't know damn song about Macklemore.
I ain't heard that name in years.
I ain't heard that name since he won the award. I done heard Machine Gun Kelly.
Pick him in the lineup.
Yeah. Well, moving right on along. Moneybagg Yo done got into some his controversial moments have come back up. What's going on with Moneybagg Yo?
So supposedly he got into it with Rod Wave's dad.
You know yeah.
I guess they were somewhere all together and Rod Wave's dad was there and he said he was trying to ask Moneybagg Yo for a lighter. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if Moneybagg Yo thought he said something else or what the fuck, or he was just tripping, but he pulled the thing out on him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So Rod Wave dad, he been all over the internet, man, saying Moneybagg Yo, you know, and his crew, they all some hoe ass niggas and shit like that. They some suckers and shit like that. So you know
why the daddy be a father? Why the daddy jumping up in the
that's the same thing I was saying too. You know what I mean?
Not to lose my head.
We gonna diss. You know what? I'm gonna rewrite the message and make it an Eminem diss. I'm gonna send to Melle. Y'all quit talking about he whack cause he white. Get him. Go get him then. Go get him.
Hey, Moneybagg Yo, I don't blame Moneybagg Yo. Don't be asking no grown man for no lighter. We out in like what type of man? Get back. Before you fuck around and get shot.
It's I don't blame either, man. It's wild out here, man. And a nigga, I don't know, walking up on me, man. And
it did when you see Rod Wave pops, he kind of almost look like he you know what I'm saying, fucking with some other shit.
You gotta think he Moneybagg Yo. He don't know this man, and somebody coming up looking like Cone talking about, hey man, can I get a light up out you? Come on now, like
they got him looking on YouTube.
You done got too close to me.
I'm not mad. We look like type person to ask you for something to get you locked up for.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? So
don't come up to me with that type of shit. He probably didn't think lighter. He thought he was asking for some thigh or something.
Exactly. So ain't no telling what really happened with that shit. You know what I'm saying? But the other news about Moneybagg Yo, we talked about it a couple weeks ago. Some of his shows getting canceled. You know what I'm saying? So
a lot of people's shows getting canceled.
They messing up the business, man. That whole wave, this ego shit, this back and forth, it messes business up, man. It makes you unbookable, you know, and that's just what it is. These motherfuckers want to prove they street, but you can't get no bookings, and that shit start catching up. They see how the YouTube checks ain't as big as they thought they was gonna be.
Hey, that might be it. You know what I'm saying?
That's why old boy daddy on her right now, 28,000 views. He finna talk about Moneybagg Yo every day.
Well, Solo say he tried to grab the leash. Hey, that might get you shot trying to grab that goddamn leash off a motherfucker hip, man.
Yeah. You know but Money said, Rich Raw High. Oh, yeah. Hey, listen, we told this man not to put that on there, but he did it anyway. So, like, y'all don't drag him in the comments for it. Just Zest Fest. This is Zest Fest tonight on the Hip Hop Stupid. But let me ask y'all this. Y'all don't know the science in the logic behind if it's low ticket sales, you're gonna cancel the show. What? So now can't you just do the show and just make?
Hold on. Nobody ever said that was the reason. People just assuming those are the reasons. Cause Lil Baby, they said that about Lil Baby. Lil Baby was just here in Dallas the night of the fight. Sold out arena,
but
not no theater.
It might depend on the city. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that too. You know what I mean?
Right.
So but I did see somebody say, what y'all think about this? Check this out. Somebody said that motherfuckers like the Moneybagg Yo show getting canceled is because Sexy Red is the opener and shit. So like motherfuckers don't want to see Sexy Red. So they not coming to the Moneybagg Yo show.
Now she already got a cult following.
Right. I don't think that's it. She's money. She's money. So I don't think that would be it. I think that's just internet talk right there.
But other people's shows are being canceled too.
Yeah. But so check this out though. Have y'all ever not went to a show because of the opening acts and shit?
No.
No,
I have. It was now
I have.
I don't want to see them other motherfuckers.
It depends on how many of the opening. You know how like they have certain opening acts to be like, okay, I'll check this person out or what have you. But if they have too many people that I don't like, then I won't go. But it's not gonna be just because it's one or two opening acts that I don't like. But if they got too many, then I'm not gonna go because the headliner don't come on until last, and it might be 1-2 o'clock in the morning when they come out for real and do 2 ass songs. So
Right.
Yeah.
I want to see the opening acts. You know what I'm saying? I want to see the opening acts. I want to see who getting on. You know what I'm saying? Who trying to get on, and you know, we as underground artists, you just want to see who up there. You know what I'm saying? And so I go. I want to see the opening. If they whack, they whack. But I want to see the opening acts when I go.
Well, they need to be good. I think I only really like to deal with if I'm already familiar with the artist. Right. I do not want to go to a concert and listen to some people rap that I've never heard before. That's just me. I don't want that. I go if like it's a Sexy Red or somebody that I'm familiar with, but I really don't like their music. Right. Yeah. But if somebody I never heard before, no, because I want to be able to rap along with the song or something, or catch a little vibe or something. I don't even know what word finna come next.
But see, the opening act is like preseason though. It's like preseason football. That's when you go, you know, they've been in clubs. They done been at the block party. They was at the church social and shit doing their songs. They ain't never been on a big ass stage, sound stage with all them chairs and there. So a lot of times when they get that, they don't know how to perform, you know. And so performing is an art. You know what I'm saying? And so it's kind of like preseason. You know, when you watch the preseason games, you're not finna see people that's gonna be in the league. You're gonna see people that's trying to get in the league. That's what the opening acts are. That's just preseason.
Right.
So see, Baba, see, you like to find a lesson or something in everything. I'm dumb. You know what I'm saying? I come in the club to be stupid. I'm not in there bitch trying to be smart.
I'm trying to see who's trying to get drafted.
And understand, you know,
want to see who's trying to get drafted, man. Who's trying to get drafted?
The artist, I'm trying to get dumb up in there. I'm not trying to be smart and come back with a real review.
I want to see who next, man. I want to see who next. Who think they got next? That's all. You
know? Hey. So check this out, y'all. Yo Gotti just released his Gangsta Grills mixtape. I ain't heard it yet, but
I heard it.
They still doing Gangsta Grills.
I've been seeing people say that they ain't fucking with Yo Gotti because of what happened to Dolph.
They stupid.
So what y'all think about that? And have y'all ever not fucked with somebody because of some rapper had a beef with another rapper?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Well, I already know. Y'all ain't fuck with Biggie. Y'all ain't fuck with Biggie because of Pop.
Behind I already Pop. Know that. I ignored New York. Period. I'll say it. If it came out of New York, it was whack, far as I was concerned in the late 90s. Period. So yeah, I've done that.
What Pop say go? What Pimp C say go?
What you say, friend?
What Pop and Pimp C say go?
Yeah. What's crazy to me is with the money with the Yo Gotti thing and the Young Dolph thing is a little weird to me. Yeah. I feel like some of this loyalty that they try to have towards Young Dolph is disingenuous. I think it's one of those things where Dolph actually, when you look at the grand scheme of things, he was the underdog. You know, Yo Gotti already, because we was rallying, we was behind Yo Gotti, you know, the same way we was behind Young Dolph. Yo Gotti done made it to a certain status to where, okay, he a rich nigga now. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of pretty much like I'm going to discard him and I'm going to use Dolph to shit on Gotti. When you think about as far as rap music is concerned and the people who we uphold as legends in the city, like it's fake as fuck, because Yo Gotti is one of those people who, you know, he done paid. You had Player Fly, you had Project Pat, you had 3 6 Mafia and people like that. Right behind that come Yo Gotti. You know what I'm saying? And he actually ended up, you know, moving up in the ranks and all of this. And a lot of times people on the bottom, they look at, here, rich nigga, now we're going to just discard him. We got another champion. So now we're going to rally up behind him and use this person as some type of reason to shit on Yo Gotti, which that's not cool, because Yo Gotti has been very consistent. He has also put a lot of people on. And as far as we know, he has not done any bad business with his artists or anything like that. And it's one of those things, we could love them both, because essentially Yo Gotti ain't have nothing to do with that man passing away. So everybody talking about they got this loyalty towards Young Dolph.
Motherfuckers think that though.
And all of that. It's just fake as hell because quiet as it's kept, you know, everybody used to love Gotti back in the day. And I think Memphis is a cutthroat city. It's just a cutthroat city. It's a lot of haters, crabs in a bucket, all that. And they just doing it
for that.
A way to like throw pie in Yo Gotti face. That's all it is.
Well, you know what I'm saying? You said Yo Gotti ain't have shit to do with Dolph, which you're probably right. But same thing with people say Big ain't have shit to do with Pac. And some people know that, and they still, you know what I'm saying, still went with that narrative, even though they knew. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
but it was a little bit different because it was too much mystery with that.
And the thing wasn't that Biggie had something to do with it. It was the fact that when Biggie should have known afterwards who the fuck did it, or even known who did it before. That was the problem, nigga. You say you the king of New York. Why you don't know? Why I can't come to the studio fuck with you to be safe? Okay, you didn't know? Damn, find out.
Hey, vice versa too. Hey, but vice versa, because motherfuckers start Biggie and Puffy and them had something to do with Pac shit. You feel what I'm saying? So it was both ways when either one of them had to really, you know what I'm saying, really had nothing to do with it. You know
I think what's messed up to me, man, I believe that Memphis really should be the mecca of rap music right now, of hip hop right now. There's so much talent in Memphis and coming out of Memphis that if it wasn't for the drama being overplayed and played up, it would really be the mecca, like how Atlanta kind of was for a little while. It's really Memphis. You know what I'm saying? And whenever it seems like Memphis is about to get that crown, it's always some shit coming up and people playing the beat. So now you can't enjoy Gotti if you love Dolph because they wasn't getting along at the time. You know what I'm saying? It is just, you know, I think it messes up business and it messes up opportunity for the black community in Memphis to really be coming up and getting the bag and building, because they have artists that are really poised to take over the game.
Yeah, like I said, it's Cutthroat City. I'm gonna tell y'all something that's crazy, right? I remember back in the day, you know, coming up and when A-Ball and MJG, they left Memphis, they went to Houston. So they go to Houston, they really got on in Houston, right? It was kind of pretty much that same thing, because I remember coming from that environment, even though you know it's some fuck shit in it, you still got a little bit of it in you too. You get what I'm saying? Because we all products of our environment. I remember we see A-Ball and MJG make that they ascend into stardom or whatever, and they surpass some of the artists back home, and we was just used to having them in arms grabs or whatever. We was looking at them niggas like they had them win Hollywood. We weren't fucking with Ball and G like that for real.
Yeah.
At a certain point in time. But when it comes to, they doing something or we see them on TV, then we like, yeah, they from our city or whatever. We want to, you know, put on for them. But it was a point in time where we kind of like turned our back on Ball and G. And we in Memphis, people do that a lot. You know what I'm saying? And where you do have to branch out in order to make it. I remember they had came back and they had a performance or whatever. And we was kind of like, what the fuck is this? Like they did that song, it was some song they did with Diddy or something.
Yeah. Don't make me lose my money.
No, mother body in here. I'm a shoot. It was just like, who is these niggas? Like, y'all, you know what I'm saying? It's like when a bird got a nest, you let somebody else yeah.
Hey, Baba, they in the comments, the New York people in the comments saying you missed out on some hip hop. Bo Money say you missed out on a lot of hip hop in the 90s.
You know what, man? I thought that too. You know what I'm saying? But then I went back and started listening, and I was like, oh, now aesthetically, this ain't pleasing to me.
Hey, Bo Money. I be sitting in Wu-Tang. I be sitting in Mobb Deep. He don't be fucking with it. He'll listen.
I respect it. I don't fuck with it. I'm not into New York lingo. And I don't hate on New York. I love New York, man, but I'm not into the lingo. I don't say Scully and B, and I don't say that. That's not my lingo. You know what I'm saying? And so culturally, aesthetically, it don't do it for me. But I don't deny the greatness. I know lyricism when I hear it. But as far as what I'm going to put in and listen to, I like to listen to people that sound like me.
Yeah, and honestly, their struggle is not relatable. Because we ain't going through trying to worry about if the elevator is not working to get to the 19th floor and the sky rise, you know, because it sounds like a lap of luxury to us. We don't know about, you know, beefing and getting into it on the subway or whatever. It still sounds like a lap of luxury to
attitude, man. Because
we don't know nothing about it's a concrete jungle. We in a project, but it's grass outside, so trees. It's like a little dirt or something. They ain't got no concrete. We don't understand this shit.
Right, good barbecue. Like we got all that, right? You know what I'm saying? So I ain't tripping, man. But I was an underground artist in the 90s. You know, and I was a part of that wave of Southern artists trying to come up and being in New York shadow, our own radio stations, refusing to play our shit, but they'll play Raw Digger or some shit. You know what I'm saying? You know, over some cold ass stuff from where we was at. So yeah, I'm in that wave, man. When they were saying they hating the South, I'm in that wave. You know what I'm saying? So being in that wave, I was just like, nah, man, I'm not really trying to hear it. I ain't trying to hear it. I don't identify with it, but I got love. But nah, man. Give me the South all day long. If I'm
but one is talking about we ain't got no grass out here. That's what I'm saying. Y'all ain't got nothing but concrete. That reason why y'all crazy. I'm talking about New York. That's one of the cities, man. I'm telling you. When I went to New York, and I was just like, oh, you know, when you come from a certain environment, you think you finna go anywhere and just show your ass. I got humble real quick around that motherfucker. I'm talking about junkies cussing you out on the train. I'm talking about people cussing you out just walking down the street for speaking. I'm like, hello, you know, like that Scarlett shit was really real though. Even though it sounds dramatic, like they really liked it. It ain't no hospitality at all. It
can get real gloomy. It can get real gloomy real fast. You know what I'm saying? I took some Crips and Bloods and some cats from the hood. We went on the East Coast excursion and we all up in DC, and it just get real gloomy real fast. Man, all that concrete and shit. I went and scolded me some herbal medicine, and nigga came to the door with that sliding thing. I ain't never seen the door with the sliding window thing before. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, man, I get the what you want. I'm like, damn, this is real. Am I in a movie? This a movie set? You know what I'm saying? You know, and what pissed me off, what I paid for was just a little bit compared to what I would get if I was in the South. I was like, I'm finna go home.
Man, you know they live in a hard knock. Like they walk around in country with some big heavy ass Timberland boots. Man, I'm talking about that. Somebody they were born a soldier. You hear me?
In May.
No, there's no walk. Hey, they use the Timberlands for the baby walking shoes to teach them how to walk, make sure their legs don't be crooked. You know what I'm saying? Like that's crazy. That's their hard bottoms.
Man.
Hell no.
Hey, anyway. Shout out to Brooklyn, man. Shout out to New York.
Brooklyn.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, indeed.
Hey, they make do with what they got out there, motherfucker, man. But if I'd have migrated out there back in the day, I'd have took my ass back down to the South and dealt with the fun. Fuck that.
Hey, let them do it.
I need some trees.
I just want to go. When I go to New York, I go straight where I know I'm at. I go get me some pizza and get the fuck away from around there. I just go get me a little slice of pizza, going on about my business. I do not be caught outside.
Hey, when we went, I loved it.
Yeah, it's cool being on the block though, man. I like hanging on the block out there though. I ain't gonna lie.
Queens, Bronx.
Yeah. You walking this action, this shit going on, man. So
I think I even kind of changed my accent that weekend.
Yeah, you was tripping for real, bro. You was tripping. I was like, I ain't coming back to New York with this motherfucker. He lost all his Texas once we got that motherfucker.
And nigga was trying to go to Charlotte.
Your son.
When you go to New York and you got some group of Yankees with you when you go, it's real fun. The first time we went to Harlem. We had met some dudes from Trinidad. They gave us them little told us about the little pass that you could get to drive the subway all day long. we had so much fun, but the only thing is danger right around the corner. Like it's like right there. It was just like it make you feel like you're living life on the edge. It gives you an adrenaline rush for real.
Yeah, man.
That nigga Preem was trying to go to Shaolin, wasn't you? You was trying to go to Shaolin every day.
I was trying to go to the
hip-hop museum. Was around the corner. B, let's go to the hip hop museum. That's Preem.
And then them 5%
school.
That was the first time I had seen the Hebrew Israelites live and in person.
The coldest
they scared the hell out of me out there in no Mortal Kombat suits. I ain't know what the hell was going on. Y'all yelling and stuff like that. I'm like, these Hebrew Israelites finna get ready to whoop our ass because we talking crazy. We in these people business. I'm like,
When we went out there, we went to a SETI lecture with a Hebrew, and it was a big black Hebrew in the back blowing a goat horn on our ass. Every time the Hebrew, only Hebrew I ever met with a goat horn. I ain't seen enough, and that mother was big, looked like a dinosaur goat. I don't know what kind of goat this big ass horn came from. Every time the Hebrew horn, that mother was like, but you can't do nothing with that.
Hey, that's the only time I was nervous, cause them niggas was beat, and all them niggas were like that Puerto Rican gang that beat up Tupac on Juice. All them niggas like that. I was like, no, I don't want this type of New York smoke. I just come here as a tourist and to hang out with them.
Them niggas you just gotta be careful.
I thought the RBGs. We coming there. We thought the RBGs was gonna be beat. Them niggas. Them Hebrews was deep.
Hebrew, I'm talking about they be down there on every corner with that shit too.
I ain't fighting nobody that can hoist up a 100-pound goat horn and blow it multiple times. I ain't fighting that dude.
That's crazy. So, what y'all think about these allegations that done came out about Lizzo? They've been calling her Belly Kelly. I went to call her. They've been calling her R Belly. That's what they've been calling her.
Hey, Belly Kelly better.
So the Lizzo, apparently she done had women eating bananas out of another woman's vagina, and then also she was accused of. That's some old monkey ass shit, ain't it? And then
you can't complain after you eat the banana, though.
I'm trying to figure out.
You can't eat the banana then press charges. That you can't do that.
My thing is the people that put the banana in there because I don't know, like pH be set up a certain type of way. You don't supposed to be putting no sweet stuff down. But anyway, so let me bring the story.
Yeah. What's the story? Because I don't even know the full story.
She done got accused of that. Then she got accused of body shaming another big girl, saying she done got too big. I guess Lizzo wanted to be the biggest of them all, and he's like, "Bitch, pipe down a little bit, bitch." You know what I'm saying? Like you doing too much, though. You know what I'm saying? Bitch, you big, but I'm the biggest. Fuck you. So Lizzo done went off on these people. They say. So what y'all think about? Do y'all believe the rumors are true?
Man, I always told y'all that hoe ain't about shit, man. Lizzo, man, I something about her, man. I just never liked. And this right here is not shocking to me. These people ain't lied. I think that they participated.
Right.
But
there you go.
Yeah, they ate bananas.
What I see right now, to further notice, is disgruntled employees. And disgruntled employees will complain about some shit that they were he and haw-hawing about when everything was candy. Now something raised that something didn't happen to where now they mad. That's the feeling that I got when they were he and haw-hawing with the banana and shit. When nobody indicating that they was uncomfortable with the banana.
It's always like that. Ain't nobody say nothing. Yeah, ain't nobody say nothing back then when all this shit was going on. But now something happened. Now, this what was going on. Well, what the fuck was y'all doing? Did y'all come back to work the next day? Did y'all come back and do it again?
I wouldn't be surprised if it's 100% true. And I ain't trying to victim shame or nothing like that. But everybody's grown. Everybody grown in this situation. So
they're going to settle out of court and get some money for sure.
It was some adult entertainment going on. It was probably going on the reg. We on the road too. It's probably going on the regular. So that might be what you complaining about, but I don't think that's what they really mad at.
Yeah, and I think Lizzo hanging around with the people she worked with probably did it, but I believe it happened because Lizzo was just inappropriate anyway.
Right.
However, they have this thing where they was at where it's a real show where they do stuff. They have that thing going on. So I think that it was probably one of those things where they are having fun doing things. I done been to lifestyle clubs and all that kind of stuff or whatever the case may be. You could be sitting up there trying to order you a Hennessy and Coke and then somebody right next to you sucking dick. You get what I'm saying? It's just is what it is.
You say you've been to that club?
I done been to lifestyle club. I used to go to lifestyle clubs all the time and theaters or whatever the case. I like those type of environments because it's like motherfuckers know what it is, you know what I'm saying? And it ain't we ain't playing or nothing like that or whatever. And it's just what it is. But I just have fun there. It's just a club to me.
You grown.
You could be ordering your drink in real live. It's going down right next to you. But it sounds like one of those type of environments, and you bring somebody, people that really not open to it, and you kind of like, oh, it's cool, have fun, do this or do that. And then they look at it like you coercing them, but yet they came with you to the spot. I could see if they would have said maybe she slipped something in their drink or she did this, she did that.
Right.
But you being their employer is, what is that called? It's a word for it. Quid. It's some kind of HR word for that. When you kind of pressure, when the people under you feel pressured to do certain things because you are their boss.
Right.
I think if anything, it was unprofessional. Right. And she probably shouldn't have done that. But all at the same time,
but sometimes it's hard to prove though.
Feel uncomfortable, like they're gonna lose their job if they didn't do it. Then she needs to be held accountable for this.
But your insecurities ain't my lawsuit. Like you have to show concrete evidence that I threaten your job based on this behavior. If you say, well, I just felt on the inside, if I didn't eat the banana, I would be fired. Well, I can come back and say, well, that's your insecurity. I never said eat the banana or you off the tour. If I don't say it and you say you just felt peer pressure and you 29 years old, that's not gonna fly.
Sean Gale say you into some weird shit, DA, in the chat.
I am sometimes, but I ain't bringing a group of motherfuckers with me and asking them to do some shit. You know what I'm saying? I get my rounds, me and my rounds.
But I'm confused. So did you see what they said on the front? On one end, Lizzo trying to get them to do freaky stuff, and then on the other end, they was complaining that the manager was trying to convert them to Christianity.
Yeah, it was too much going on.
All in one crew. You got the devil and God all in one crew.
That's usually how it goes, though, ain't it? Sometimes it's the same person, though.
Lizzo tried to make me eat that banana, but what you need to do is give your life to Christ. God damn, you pressuring me too.
Exactly. Think about it like when you think about a space like they were in with the bananas or lifestyle clubs, look at it like when you go to the strip club or whatever. You got people like myself. I'm going to go to the strip club. I'm going to be in there. I'm going to have fun. I'm going to get my Hennessy and Coke, throw some money, whatever, look at what I'm looking at and go on about my business. Where else in that very same club, you could have some people that gonna do something strange off in the corner somewhere. Y'all know what's going on in that little back room, but you ain't going back there. So you could be in that environment without getting down in a certain type of way. Lizzo, she wanted to have the full-blown experience, and now she's trying to get the people to do it too. And it's like, you should have just came to see what it was, scoped it out, and then on the late night creep type of thing, you go in there and eat you a couple bananas out some pussy. Don't be trying to get them to do it, because what they gonna do for you, what they eat don't make you shit. So why you want us to watch them eat bananas out of pussy? Bitch, you get you a banana split. You know what I'm saying? And going on about your business. That's how they go.
Banana split. Oh, God. So the age at any of these places, did you after you walk out the freakish parts, did you ever run into some Jehovah's Witnesses on the other end?
Oh no, it ain't no Jehovah's Witness allowed. But you couldn't even have on too much clothes up in there.
See, that's what they was going through. That's the confusion they was having.
No,
you know, we went to the manager, and the manager tried to save them, and they didn't like that either. So it's what y'all want. What can we do? Lizzo,
I don't know where you're trying to take this, Baba, but no Pan-Africans are allowed either. Relax, man.
Well, I'm not going.
I'm not going.
I don't know where you're headed with it. I'm just stopping you right there, man. Look like
I'm scared of that kind of shit. I don't know, man. I'm good. Yeah, I'm great. I'm just saying.
I don't even want to go to the strip club if a person got on a combination of red, black, and green. You can't even come with me. You gonna have to take that. Like, you look too woke. You know, I
had to leave the strip club alone when I walked in there one day, and the girls on stage and looked at me and say, "Baba." I said, "Oh shit, I ain't coming back." That's it for me.
I can't come back ahead.
What y'all think about this though? Before we get into the main
topic, my Operation Weekend assignment, right?
Y'all see it. Those of y'all that's out there watching, if you have not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe, like, and if you're watching, go ahead and share the video so your people can tune in. What y'all think about this real quick? Offset was on Angela Yee's Way Up podcast, and he had said that he'll feel some type of way if Cardi B were to cheat on him. Yeah, you know, he has definitely cheated on Cardi B, but he was like, nah. And if anybody touch his wife, they gonna have to see him. Basically, that's what he said. What y'all think about that there?
That's what he supposed to say.
Sounds like that.
Even after he done cheated on her multiple times.
Hey,
let's need to hear there.
I don't think most motherfuckers would be cool.
Like it or love it.
You can't ask no men no shit like this, DA.
Well, hey, I had to put y'all to the fire because, you know, I've been knowing since 1987 my nigga ain't shit, but it just proved it to be true.
That's what I know, though. That's what I know. If and when she do it, he'll never find out.
Oh no,
he'll never.
But I don't think she would.
Y'all hide it way better than we do. He'll never.
But I'm gonna tell you something too. Is this is what I always found crazy is that when a woman is cheated on by a man, a lot of times they'll be like, well, I'm about to go deal with this person or deal with this person. They gonna cheat back. Really, you got played twice. And I feel like if you can't deal with this person cheating, just go ahead and leave them. Or if you're gonna stay, just let them cheat in peace. But as a woman, you're not getting somebody back by giving another man some pussy, because now this other person done used your body and he done got off. You know, you done gave him one of the hottest commodities on this earth. Like, you don't really, I like, bitch, what is the fuck? The community services you got going on, like, it don't work like that. I would just lead a man.
And he gonna tell somebody.
Right.
Yeah, he gonna tell it. You get Cardi B, you gonna tell it. You telling somebody that, you know what I'm saying? So I mean, if she that's off on him, it got to be with Usher or a motherfucker that don't need to tell it.
Yeah, there are double standards. You know, it should be somebody like it just, I feel like I don't understand that. How does that hurt the person's feelings when they're not gonna find out? You know, are you gonna cheat and then you're gonna go and say, yeah, I did that, and get your head stuck between the refrigerator and the washer? Or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it comes out. You know, women will hold that bullet in their holster and shoot your ass with it at the most inopportune time. It comes out. Everything comes to the light. You know, Offset can go mess with Keisha in the project and get away with it. If Cardi B go mess with Dantrell in the project, it's gonna be on Instagram tomorrow.
Same night.
Tomorrow.
These project hoes today, they going Instagram too, Jack. They gonna do something. They gonna do something thinking they slick and everybody else know the shit.
But man,
I just feel like people need to.
But it's a double standard.
Y'all know what's so crazy?
It's a double standard. We can't handle it like y'all.
But you know what? I accept the fact that there's a double standard in a lot of different things, because in it's some double standards that we as women benefit from, and there's double standards that men benefit from. So it all balances itself out. But some people just be feeling some type of way because they don't benefit from what they want to benefit from, but you benefit from something. But I'm so glad I've never actually dealt with infidelity in a relationship before. I don't know how that shit. I guess I be wanting a nigga to stay out of my business, so I stay out of his.
That's another thing. Like women are readily admit that they've been cheated on. A lot of brothers ain't gonna even admit they've been cheated on before. Not publicly.
Yeah. Oh, if I get cheated, I'm telling the world about it. I'm gonna tell the world about it, because Because guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put that nigga. I'm gonna hang his ass like I'm gonna nail him up like they did Jesus, and just post him, let niggas come throw stones at his ass, stone him. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real, you get hung on a tree. I'm taking it back down. I'm taking it back in the day.
Under the rug. He find that Cardi B cheating, he gonna try to sweep that under the rug fast as he can. I don't think he gonna do shit. That's my opinion.
Yeah. I just think that, I don't know. Like, to me, that's weird. But then also, I guess because I'm not like I could be monogamous, but I'm polyamorous, so to speak. Right. You know what I'm saying? So like, I don't buy into like it's only one person you're gonna be attracted to and want to have sex with. Like, this shit kind of weird to me. But anyway.
But it also hit different when you got a multi-million-dollar relationship.
I mean, but you're still a human, though.
You know, like Jay-Z and Beyonce arguments is different than me and Koyo arguments. You know what I'm saying? and you know, you talking about we got to split up assets. You know, him and Cardi doing songs together. They are enterprise. They not just a relationship. So if something go down, he gonna be mad, but then he got to think about the business too. It ain't that easy. It ain't that easy, man.
I don't know. I just think nah, but for real though, as far as like that cheating stuff or whatever, I was just playing or whatever. That's something that
I think men that cheat are scumbags.
I just think that I'm gonna be honest, like even with me
don't deserve to live. Ain't that right, baby?
Yeah, like even with me playing, talking about hang them on the crowd, but for real, in all seriousness, I feel like people only get embarrassed by it because they start wanting to blast it. You know, there's just like a lot of the people, like, okay, for instance, Moneybagg Yo had went on a podcast and talked about how Ari, whatever her name is, how she, stood by him after he cheated. We didn't even know about this, so why you tell us? You get what I'm saying? Like, I feel as though people, they embarrass themselves by telling their business. I was just playing. I wouldn't come out. I take my certain L's in private. You know what I'm saying? But
telling your business is business now. Telling your business is a business.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, you tell your business if you can generate views and attention by telling some people will tell all their business and make up some more shit if it's gonna make business.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, so before we move on to the topic at hand, man, I got one more topic right quick. What y'all think about Lil Wayne joining Skip Bayless on motherfucking Undisputed? What y'all think about that?
Nah, man, I got to see it.
Everybody giving the thumbs down?
I got
across
to see
the board?
Yeah, man. I mean, it's a sports show, man. It's a sports show. I don't know. I'm not saying Lil Wayne ain't got no opinions and stuff, but I don't want to look at Lil Wayne every morning.
He's been featured on on ESPN for 10, 15 years. He's been on there. You know what I'm saying?
I'd rather see Stephen A.
hold it down for a minute. He can't hold it down for a show.
I'm not saying what the man can't do. I'm not a big fan of his voice aesthetically when he talking. So I ain't really trying, when the guy Cowboy gonna do that, and I ain't got time to decipher that New Orleans drawl and all that stuff. I ain't got time to decipher that when we talking about sports.
Damn, let's throw them down across the board. So what y'all think? I
believe it when I see it.
What y'all think went into that decision though? Because the ESPN got rid of a bunch of motherfuckers, Jalen Rose, Mark, you know what I'm saying, Mark
Clout.
So
it's clout. It's more like we all know, we do know, Wayne, he into sports. He's a Packers fan just like me. He a cheesehead. But that's where it starts and stops. You get what I'm saying? Lil Wayne doesn't have the personality. His sense of humor is very much dark. It can damn near be offensive at times. Yeah, he don't have that. He don't have a personality for TV for real. Like
look, the ESPN is betting on
easy to watch.
ESPN is betting that his popularity carries on to the show. Yeah, he's still popular. Yeah, for clout. A lot of people fucking with Wayne.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Fox. Well, I think he might be Skip Bayless's last black friend.
Is that what it is?
His last famous black friend. Because Skip Bayless choose who come on the show with him. So he said, I'm not helping any more of these ungrateful Negroes. I'm just gonna get Wayne. He's the last one of y'all that I fuck with. I don't mess with no more black people. I just mess with Lil Wayne.
Hey,
they were gold. So I really feel like they just need to leave it alone at this particular point. Cause who would you want to see Skip with for real?
Charles Barkley.
Chuck, man. Oh, you know what? Chuck actually will be good.
That's the best.
Actually will be good.
That would be the best. That's the no-brainer. Yeah. But I think Barkley don't like. They'd have to back a Brinks truck up to his house. But money talk. But if you could put Charles Barkley and Skip Bayless, because they've been going back and forth for years. Barkley say he hate him, and I think Barkley been auditioning. I don't believe he hate him, because Barkley love him some white folks. So I think Charles Barkley and Skip Bayless, that's the team right there.
Yeah, and you know what? Chuck don't care what he say either. That'll be good. That'll be good for the show.
But listen, Chuck ain't Shannon, man. Hey, Chuck might fuck around and come across that table though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he gonna speak his speech too. That'll be good to see.
Please, Chuck's what they call cracker toast is gonna kick in before he cross that table. He ain't gonna cross that table.
And you know what? It's crazy. It's crazy with Chuck for me. It's like, as an individual, I don't like Chuck. I don't like his personality, but I like him in an ensemble type. Like, he does really good, like bouncing off others and stuff like that. I could definitely see that on Undisputed.
Man, if Skip could stand being called a dumb motherfucker every day, he'd make $1 billion. He just let Chuck call him stupid and dumb. Tell him you don't know nothing about sports. If he can take the abuse, he'll make $1 billion.
Well, shit. I ain't really watching Undisputed anyway, so I might tune in. I might tune in on one of these Lil Wayne episodes.
I
definitely gonna tune in. You got to at least see what Lil Wayne gonna do on a sports show.
That's what I'm saying. I'm still there just checking about.
We'll see. He probably get to coming in. His intro might be on the goddamn skateboard. We don't want his Tony Hawk's ass on it. Like, I don't think this is gonna pan out well. But anyway,
not show up for a couple of episodes, man. Y'all, you're dealing with an artist, man. You dealing with an artist. Ain't no telling. Must see TV.
But anyway, before we get into this main topic on what is the culture and the state of the culture, let's drop this hip-hop trivia question once again so y'all can try and answer it. This week's hip-hop trivia question is, what was the name of the song Coolio sampled for his songs Gangsta's Paradise? Again, what was the name of the song Coolio sampled for his song Gangsta Paradise? Y'all go ahead and try to answer that.
Super easy.
Been living most my life. Against us. Yes, indeed.
I know exactly what it is.
Way too.
I think I know the artist. I forget the song though. But we gonna figure it out. But anyway,
probably the easiest one we don't have. Period.
Without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and get into this main topic where we talk about what is the culture, defining the culture, and the state of hip hop as it is today. Most recently, they celebrated the 50th birthday of hip hop on the BET Awards.
Oh yeah, it's going down all year though.
Yeah, but it's going down. But that sparked a lot of conversation though, on where we're at. Because we saw the difference where, you know, when we were coming up and being, you know, rebellious, and our mamas and daddies telling us, you know, we got this racket on and all of that. We was in the thick of it, having fun, enjoying ourselves. And now we've done got a little bit much older. Instead of just being active participants like that as we were once that was creating the culture, now we're kind of sitting back being critics of it at this particular point. We are able to critique it and actually give an assessment of where it was and what it is today. So that's where we at with the conversation. Baba Amin as our special guest tonight. I want you to go ahead and take the floor and speak on it and tell us what do you think is definitive of hip hop at this particular time, and what do you feel like the state of hip hop is at this particular time?
And you know, I thought about this, man, when Preem, when y'all invited me on, and it's a serious topic for me because hip hop has always been a life or death tool for me in my life. You know what I'm saying? I'm not just a casual fan. I'm not even an artist. I'm a hip hop activist. You know what I'm saying? And so I've used hip hop, built studios in the hood, and used hip hop as a tool to help people get off the streets and the whole 9 yards. You know, so for me, hip hop is a culture that's about self-expression. It's a culture that's about Black art. You know what I'm saying? It's about Black urban art, you know, about us taking nothing and making it something, about us being unapologetic in what we do. And that's not, and I know I'm political with my stuff, but when I say that, I'm talking about everybody's self-expression, from sexual expression, dance expression, whatever that expression is. Hip hop has been a vehicle for that. It's a global phenomenon because of that. You know what I'm saying? And so I try not to get caught up in what the big companies are investing in and letting that be my definition of hip hop or my gauge of where the culture is. You know what I'm saying? I think that the culture is having problems because of what's being monetized, what's popular, whatever. Those of us on the ground, we're fighting to preserve the diversity in hip hop, like telling young people, okay, but that ain't the only way to be. You ain't gotta do that. That ain't your personality. The essence of hip hop is being true to yourself. So when you step in the studio and you're trying to create something that you feel like will sell, but is not authentically you, then for me, you stepping outside of what hip hop culture is. You know, but that's always been in hip hop. When gangster rap hit, you saw rappers that had Jerry curls and baggy pants on in '88. In '92, they had on Dickies and had a haircut and headbands on. You know what I'm saying? And so the studio gangster was born, you know, and so the music and the music business is two different things, man. And what breaks my heart is watching how that the little rapper that y'all ain't gonna never hear about, these young cats like this. I'm out in the country now. I'm talking to young cats out in the country in South Carolina trying to emulate street cats and emulate culture that ain't. You a farmer, man. You've been growing tomatoes all your life. Now all of a sudden a nigga and you trying to get it, but you shoot squirrels. Like I see you shoot squirrels, but you don't want to be that. You ain't rapping about the shooting them squirrels and fishing and doing all that shit. You want to rap about having jewelry that you ain't got and women that you ain't screwing and cars that you don't drive because you think that. And then they be having beef. It'd be like East Orangeburg versus West Orangeburg. You know what I'm saying? Like they start emulating this shit, and you seeing young people getting killed and really beefing at each other, going on Instagram, doing diss records back and forth. So we don't know about it, but in that little country town, that beef is everything. You know what I'm saying? Just like in the hood in Fort Worth, Stop 6 going there, South Side, that beef everything in Fort Worth, but real bodies are dropping. You know what I'm saying? And that's where it becomes problematic. But I also think hip hop is the answer to its own problems. You get out there and you create opportunities. You start throwing support behind more powerful messages about getting money, messages about building up the community, owning your own. You know what I'm saying? Just bringing more balance to it. If we can find the investment for that, it'll balance out the other thing. Because a lot of these cats do not want to be in the situation. You be having little poets that do not want to be surrounded by real bloods or real Crips. They just want to be little. You know what I'm saying? Let's just be real. You know, you get mad at a Tekashi 6ix9ine for snitching. He was never a gangster. He was always an artist. He's supposed to be in Greenwich Village somewhere. He ain't supposed to be riding with the Bloods. You know what I'm saying? He a hippie. He ain't supposed to be with them. But you get caught up in that, and they can't handle that kind of pressure. You know, and so I hate to see that aspect of it, man. So we just need to balance it out, man. The culture is beautiful. It's still people out there doing beautiful art. It's just hard to see them because we locked into these algorithms that's showing us a different thing. I was talking to DOC, you know what I'm saying, a couple of weeks ago, and we was talking about using hip hop, bringing studios into the hood in Dallas, Fort Worth, trying to bring it together by creating these opportunities for cats. It's just tight. You ain't gotta be preaching, just gotta be good at what you do and be real about what you're talking about. So I think hip hop is the answer to its own question. We just got to get out there and do it. You know, so I love hip hop culture, but the way it's being capitalized on, the way it's being used, mainstream media, that sort of thing, it's really been dangerous in touching people in the hood that ain't famous but feel famous if they can just get a little attention on YouTube. 100 views is a whole lot to a lot of people.
Yeah. Hey, to your point, you know what I'm saying? I think you know, some of these rappers, they might be starting to wake up in a sense. You know, Meek Mill, he get a lot of criticism, you know what I'm saying? But he been on this crusade, you know what I'm saying, as far as, you know, dealing with politics and the prison system and shit like that. So he been using his platform, you know what I'm saying, in a way. So he done came out this week and he actually said that rappers are paid more to sound ignorant. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are his exact words. And that's Meek Mill, you know what I'm saying? He was just saying that, you know what I'm saying, he know that he got to rap about certain shit to get his platform to a certain level, you know what I'm saying, to be able to do all the political activism and shit like that he doing. So do you think the negative side of it, like him saying that he got to rap about certain shit to even get his platform big enough to even do certain shit, do you think that's more hurtful than helpful?
I mean, the bottom line, man, it's on people that's on the ground in the community, parents, you know what I'm saying, things like that to teach our children that that's some bullshit, you know, with the difference between what's real and what's not real. I don't put it all on the rappers. I don't put it all on the labels. At the end of the day, it's on us as parents to do what we got to do to educate our children. But at the same time, when I hear rappers saying I got to do that in order to be here to do this platform, you know, it's some bullshit to that. That's everything got a good reason and a real reason. The real reason is I'm trying to figure out how to be positive and still get this bag. That's the thing. I don't want my lifestyle to change, but I want my message to change. And so I'm trying to figure out a way to change my message without changing my lifestyle. Because if the company don't back my lifestyle, then I got to be positive back where I came from. And I don't want to go back where I came from. You know what I'm saying? And that's the real danger that the Meek Mills and the Jay-Z's and all them face. I still have to be able to create partnerships with white companies to maintain this lifestyle that I have. If the white companies want the sex and violence to sell, I got to give them some of that, because if I don't, they got up next is right there.
Pulling the plug.
Yeah, you know up next is right there.
I think it's I think in a sense what Meek Mill said, it's some merit to what Meek Mill said, but I also think it's some BS for the simple fact of you do have artists that have more profound music that you can listen to or whatnot, and then you got to think about the consumer as well. Nothing is gonna be pushed if it's not selling, right? So in order for them to want to push this, that means that there are people out there that want to listen to it. So of course, any business person is going to push what's going to sell. However, I think that artists, instead of taking like a Meek Mill or whatnot, instead of for them taking accountability for their actions, they want to rest upon the machine or the man made them do it, instead of actually being creative enough. So it's a lazy way of saying, hey, I'm really not as creative as I thought I am, or what people think I am, and I really want to be able to rest on this, and I don't want to be held accountable for resting on this. So I'm gonna blame this on the corporation.
Right.
Where else you got people like a J. Cole, you got people like a Kendrick Lamar. They got the bars, they got the fan base, they got the money. There are some people listening to them just as well as they're listening to Dreams and Nightmares. So Meek Mills and anybody else, they could go on with that, because to me that's just lazy. Because you can do it, you can put out the type of music. It's just easy for, you know how easy I used to be a rapper. You know how easy it is to go in the booth or go into the lab and get to saying some of the stuff that people be saying, and you finna make a million. I'm not, if I could make millions, that's the reason why I don't like for them to play in our face. If I could make millions by saying some dumb shit and I ain't gotta think so hard, I'm gonna go do it too. Like, come on now, let's be for real. So
hey,
it's just a cop out to me.
Montoya in the comments, he make a good point too. He said it's just a marketplace, and we not honest about that.
Yeah.
Right. And so again, music and the music business is two different things. You know what I'm saying? When you're talking about entertainment, you talking about violence and sex in entertainment, the impact of that on your community is really based on the strength of your community and the culture inside your community. You know what I'm saying? That's where the answers lie, or the solutions lie, inside our community. They have a right to free speech. They have a right to rap. You have the right to create whatever type of song you want to create. You know what I'm saying? And that's just what it is. And in a capitalist society, capitalists have the right to invest in whatever it is that they want to invest in, you know. And so, you know, artists like Meek Mill and Deja, you make a great point. There are other things that come into play. Number one, he might not have the level of creativity to work a message, you know, to do that. Like Kanye has an uncanny ability to confuse everybody while being profound at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Everybody don't have that. Then everybody don't have a team. It ain't just the artist. You know what I'm saying? So Lamar is surrounded by savvy business people that know how to make him a commodity unto himself, so he can write his own checks and he can do his show the way he do his show, because he has a niche market. But if you a carbon copy of the everyday gangster rapper, you don't have a niche market. You're replaceable. We can replace you tomorrow. It's 20 niggas in the hood right now that do what you do better than you. And if I want to, I can replace you with them anytime I want to. But it's not 20 Kendrick Lamars in the hood that can do exactly what he does, or J. Cole's. You understand what I'm saying? So when you realize you're a replaceable commodity, that's a different situation than if you really coming with something that's unique, got a message, but you so cold at it that they still got to give you do business with you. That's a difference.
Montoya, aka Mental Dialogue, Black Socrates, said he didn't get paid more to rap that BS. He just made more money because he sold more. Deja calling Meek out correctly. That's true. People try to piss down your leg and tell you it's raining.
Hey, let me ask you this:
how much money we think a rapper got and what they actually have, and then how much money they have access to. Sometimes you have access to houses, access to cars, access to planes. That don't mean that's your stuff. That might mean you got a powerful friend. You know what I'm saying? And you look rich to us. So we really don't know what them checks looking like.
And he of course, he only happened for Ruben. So
hey, let me ask you this, Baba. I mean, it been this meme going around. Been this meme going around saying something like sexy red and shit like that, and slut rap, quote unquote, is programming our daughters to be sluts. So what you think about that? What you think about that?
Well, I have 4 daughters, and if they turn out to be sluts, I think I'm more responsible for that than Sexy Red, because I didn't pay enough attention, or they may have just got grown and made a damn choice, right? And so again, Sexy Red has the right to do whatever she wants to do, and if somebody wants to invest in it, they're gonna invest in it, right? I don't think that it's who programmed her. You know what I'm saying? So whatever the force programmed her is the same culture that's programming sisters on the streets or sisters in the hood, that sort of thing. We always going after the artist. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think that's where it starts or that's where it ends. We are turning into the anything goes people, period. You know, just like dudes try to show they print, sisters try to show they print nowadays. Like the shit is just, it's just
pump through camel toe, yes, God, honey.
Yeah, like it's different. We're becoming the anything goes people, regardless of how folks feel about it. And there's gonna be serious ramifications for it. We're gonna pay for this shit. It's coming. The hammer gonna drop. But we're becoming the anything goes people, and we can't pick and choose. We can't get up. We made Sexy Red.
Thank you.
We made Sexy Red, so we can't turn around and unmake her like we didn't make Sexy Red in the first place.
And you know the thing that kills me, Baba, is this. It's like, okay, Sexy Red came out with one song and she got everybody in an uproar. And even though I think I don't like the song because I don't like the flow or anything like that, but pussy do be pink and booty holes do be brown. So what did the lady say wrong? Like, what the fuck? Like, I mean, she just said some anatomy. I feel like that she just talking about anatomy, and then people be trying to act like, I'm gonna tell you what I don't like. We got this in the post. What I do not like is people try to make it seem like women rapping about sex is somehow is just ruining the world. I need somebody to show me like what effect in general, like what effect has this really had, and then too, the way women got objectified in male videos. The way men didn't have no problem. How the fuck y'all been rapping about pimping and all this for all these years, but all of a sudden you mad at a hoe? You can't be a pimp without a hoe.
These are children.
I'm like, now all of a sudden y'all mad at hoes.
Yeah. These are the children of the pimp and rap generation. Yeah. These are the children and grandchildren of that generation. We made this.
Yeah. And now, the thing is, people were speaking out about the shit back then and about how vulgar and graphic, you know what I'm saying, the shit was back then, but they was our parents. Nah, we our parents' age, and you know, some a lot of people our age don't want to hear that shit. And speaking,
I'm gonna say this as somebody who's been a conscious rapper since the 90s, we was predicting this back then. Pac said we're gonna raise a race of babies that hate the ladies. Like he said that. You know what I'm saying? This was prophesied back then in hip hop. What we're seeing now was prophesied in the 90s. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so it's here now. It's here. You know, cats want to be gangsters, go to jail, come home, and tell your son don't do crime. No, your son is living off your reputation. Then you turn around and do a blog talking about how hard you was in prison, but son, don't do that. Wait a minute, no, everybody admiring you. So nigga, I'm finna do it too. You know, you big dead, I'm little dead. You big ag, I'm little ag. You ain't finna take my little ag away from me. You know, I want some of that same too. And so these are our children, and they're taking
big meat, little meat.
Yeah. Big meat, little meat. Y'all want to celebrate my daddy for dealing drugs and all that kind of stuff. I'm walking in that legacy. So we got to choose, you know, what we, you know what I'm saying? There's that confusion. You can't have it both ways. You can't glorify it and condemn it. You got to figure it out. We're going to pay for it regardless. I know what I prefer. I prefer that not being proliferated out there, but I don't have institutional control as a man. You know, in order to protect my daughters and I can't protect you. It's harder for me to protect you when you got the camel out than it is for me when you cover it up. You know what I'm saying? And so my job is hard. Is hard. You know, sisters come to me after the fact now. You know, it's like, I'm like, all right, y'all, man, just kind of be subtle, be shame. Don't, you know, slow down to the before. Bobby, now you trying to inhibit my freedom. And then after some shit happened, Bobby, he just used me and he taped me and filmed me. And can y'all go beat him up? No, I can't go beat him up.
But you know what? I think that I'm gonna speak on this real quick, and this probably gonna shake the table a little bit, because I do think that as adults, we have a right to have a space to be grown. You get what I'm saying? We have, adults, we sometimes we're vulgar, inappropriate, or whatever the case may be. The thing that I don't like about when people be trying to say that because how a woman dress, because how a woman talk or whatever, then that means that she's welcome in disrespect. My answer, my question about that is, as a black man that leave out the house every morning, you could possibly lose your life just based off of how you look, just based off how you talk, just based off what you say, just based off just simply being who you are. You could lose your life just from how you look, just being a black man, right? And then you turn around and say something like, oh, because she dressed this way, because she said a certain thing, she deserved to be disrespected. Like, okay, what if I turned around and said, because you had your pants sagging, showing your brown booty hole, and because you were standing there in front of the store talking shit, then you deserve to get gunned down by the police. It'll sound real fucked up if I were to say that. But men will say, oh, okay, this is the reason why we disrespect you. This is the reason why. Just because me being me and expressing myself how I would like to express myself, that means that I deserve to be disrespected. But it's the same thing. So I could make the excuse, well, you should have had your pants up, you should have been sagging, or you should have been in front of that store that deserved for you to get gunned down by the police.
Let me tell you this. I do tell my sons that. I don't tell them they deserve to get gunned down, but I'll tell them that does not. You have a right to be in front of that store. You got a right to have your pants sagging, right? But you are increasing the likelihood of harassment. Now, if you don't do that, you decrease the likelihood. That don't mean you're not going to be harassed, but you may decrease the likelihood. I'm still going to have your back. But if you get into this prevention thing, you could avoid a lot of other shit, a lot of heartache than if you keep trying to fight it. You know what I'm saying? Fight against it. You know, I tell my daughters, look, you can choose to be with whoever you want to be with, but if you want the benefit of my wisdom, I can smell a dude up and down and tell you if he ain't about shit off top, because I'm a man. But if you choose to keep it a secret, I'm still gonna have your back. But understand, you can avoid a lot of it if you learn how to listen to advice in the first place. And you can avoid putting me in a bad situation if you listen to advice in the first place. It don't negate that. You know, you still don't know. You shouldn't be disrespected regardless of what you wear. You shouldn't be. It doesn't justify the disrespect, but you can't negate the fact that it might put you in additional danger. And you can't negate, and it don't negate the fact that if you listen to advice in the first place, a lot of it can be avoided. That's just my stance on it. You know what I'm saying? It just makes it easy. We're going to have your back regardless. But if you listen to us in the beginning, then I'm telling you how men are, because I'm one. And if you listen to that, then a lot of things could be avoided. I will tell you, I don't follow the G code as an elder and as a father. I would tell you straight up, that dude ain't about nothing. I know he gonna play you. I know it because he remind me of me. I know exactly what he gonna do. If you can listen to me now, we can avoid some heartache later. And then later come and the heartache come, I'm still gonna have your back, but I'm gonna look at you and say, remember that lesson? Remember that conversation? But I'm here. Fucking, we gonna fuck him up. I'm here. But remember that conversation.
That's the most. I'm telling you, like, this is the very first time that I've heard someone actually have that same energy with their boys and their girls. Like how I was raised with my dad. My dad, he treated me different, but he didn't treat me different, if that makes sense. You get what I'm saying? That's just like the other night I was talking to him and I was telling him something. He was like, baby, you just like me. Ain't now one of us shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like my daddy, he gonna keep that same energy. And it's like to hear that from someone with me sitting back thinking like, hey, you know, ain't nobody thinking about this, but you one in a few. If other men were to have that same attitude, I think everybody would be a little bit more at ease with criticism, because it only seems like, to be honest, all this shit been going on for years in hip hop, and the men they putting each other in body bags, they objectifying women, They doing all kinds of things, going into old lady houses and all this old type of shit, right? And all of a sudden, it's like, oh, a woman rapped about sex, and it's like that's the end of the world. It seems so unbalanced. So I think if it's the same energy across the board, I think each party on every side will be more willing to listen to each other if they carry the same sentiments as you do, Baba. Black Socrates done hopped on with us to give his 3 cents. What's up, Black Socrates?
What's up? Well, Baba Amin took my words because that's always the dialogue. Like, I think, you know, I made a joke about this same thing that y'all are talking about now. And I don't know if you saw my response, but that's exactly what I told you in reference to young men, mentoring young men. I tell young men the exact same thing Baba tells young men in reference to here's the risk. For example, when you're stopped by police, if you will, like this is the risk. And if you're stopped, get home. And getting home, even if you know you've been profiled, get home. But you are more likely to be profiled under these circumstances. So the energy is the same towards young men as that. And I don't think the team's focused. I mean, obviously she's the song of the day, the artist of the day. Right. I don't think he is an attack at the artist. It's just talking about the idea of the program. And the reality is, right, Lois Tucker and a whole bunch of people have been saying, and like Baba said, like there's been people, we've been calling it wrong for a long time. So to still call it wrong now is really the same energy that's always existed. But we were young and rebellious and went against it when we were kids. But now we're old enough to say, damn, some of that programming wasn't good for us. We talk about it right now. We own to the fact that hip hop need to grow up. So it was wrong then. We're just old enough to finally start calling it wrong. It's not hypocritical if, again, because I agree with Baba completely, you definitely got to tell the boys, here's the risk. And that's what we do with the boys that we mentor.
Let me ask y'all this, because we've discussed the state of the culture, but we haven't discussed really what is the culture. And I think that needs to be defined as well. And I think in order to define that, we have to also look at our psyche and how we indulge in certain things. Like it's almost hypocritical or contradictory in a sense, because it's almost like on one end, we're like, oh, these things need to improve and we need to do better. But then on the other end, we also are consumers of the very same thing that we're saying that need to change. So how do we actually define it? Is it one of those things where it almost, to me, it's going to be real crazy?
We define it now.
When you get a little bit older and you look at hip hop, and you're able to, hip hop has that's our culture as Black people, and that's been our voice as Black people, right? And when you get a little bit older and you get to sit back and you get to watch, it's almost like a mirror getting placed in your face and you're ashamed of the reflection. And I think that's what happens a lot of times with the criticism. Is it that it's almost like we know that all of this in hip hop is part of our culture for real. But now since we get to sit back and be observers of it and not be active participants, it's almost as if we're ashamed of our reflection.
Man, it's very, very hard because the like fighting the contradiction or not being contradictory to the shit, man. Because like you said, I grew up in this shit.
Love this shit.
This is changed. I love it. It's changed my life, and but I still want to hear Project Pat.
Oh, but I want to hear that rapper though, so that don't count.
But I don't mind Cardi B. I don't mind Sexy Red. But I know this shit fucked up. I know it influences my daughter. I know. But I just love this shit. So it's very, very hard to I guess I don't know. I got my type of mentality got to die out because I ain't letting it go. But I also know how detrimental it is. Some aspects of it detrimental to the community and our people.
Preem, how about this? If I can throw this in real quick. So being in Atlanta or whatever, there was, while hip hop always been all the things we talked about, but there were certain hit records like 8 Ball and MJG that was hits in the they're not number one on the charts. So we at least had that difference, and that's what's gone away.
Yeah. In a way. Hey, so Baba Amin and Black Socrates, while you're here, let me ask y'all this, man. I was thinking about this the other day. You know how we had rites of passages, you know what I mean? As you know, coming up as teenage boys, flipping it to the male side, right? It seemed like in the hood, especially in certain hoods around the country, man, it almost seemed like going to jail, going to prison was like a rites of passage now. It's almost like something you got to do to kind of earn your stripes, kind of almost. You know what I'm
like
saying?
That 30 years ago.
Yeah. So do you think hip hop has something to do with that?
I think hip hop is just. I think there are aspects of hip hop that's a reflection. I think you can see a reflection of every aspect of Black life somewhere in hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Hell, it's Christian rappers. It's not an aspect of Black life that somebody ain't rapping about. You know what I'm saying? Of course, the prison aspect is played up. I mean, it's profitable. Black failure is big business in the United States. You know what I'm saying? Prison is big business in the United States. So if you have a multi-billion-dollar industry that can promote prison culture and which in turn will help fill up prisons, that's a cash cow for a lot of people. That's why a lot of the people who invest in the music industry also invest in the prison industry, because there's a relationship there. You know what I'm saying? And that's a fact. But on a hood level, because I've worked on and from the streets, y'all. I'm not a teacher from the suburbs. You know what I'm saying? My first class was in Butler housing. And so on the hood level, on the street level, prison becomes a rites of passage. Also, when the reality of your economic gain is breaking the law, like this is my reality. This is how we get it around here. You come in here and tell me I can be a doctor, I can be a lawyer, whatever I want. I don't see that in my day-to-day. In my day-to-day, this is how we eating right now. So I'm out here eating like this, and I'm gonna eat that prison sentence too, when and if it comes. I'm gonna eat that bullet when and if it comes. That's why a lot of times when I laugh when leaders are trying to scare kids straight. You ain't scaring me. I've already dealt with this reality in my life. I know this is a reality in life. You keep doing that, you're gonna go to prison. Nigga, I know my brother there, my cousin there, my uncle there, and my daddy there. I know I'm gonna go there. That's not teaching me nothing. You're not making me afraid of that. I have to train my mind to get ready for that, because I'm born into this reality. You know what I'm saying? And that's just what it is. And when you got to rehumanize people. And when you rehumanize people to understand this is the situation, now let's fight the situation. How do we fight the situation? How do we create more options? How do we take what we create and monetize it? We created the greatest music phenomenon the world has ever known in hip hop, but we don't own it.
And I love it, Baba Amin. And Baba Amin hit it on the head. It's economics, as far as what we were put some aspects on hip hop that are not hip hop. Everything he just talked about is the economics of those situations for why those young men are doing what they're doing. That's music aside. That was happening even when they had to bubblegum rap. Right. You feel me? They was actually more gangster when they was bubblegum rapping, if you will.
Yeah, for sure.
So that proves that's all economics. Now, what hip hop does, and Preem's heard me say this before, what hip hop does, because it is a drum beat and messaging and programming it does hurt us as far as how we value and see ourselves. So it hurts us from a psychological standpoint, but it leads to none of those actions. But there's inevitable harm from valuing yourself less. Here's a reality that has come out of hip hop that people don't like to own: money over bitches, no snitching. You know what I'm saying? That don't apply in regular life. It only applies in the street. But now we took it and made it part of our culture.
That's American life, though.
Even if I wasn't in the street.
Those are American values.
Yep.
Money over bitches is white American values. White men believe in money over bitches all day long. They just don't say it like that. Arranged marriages, wife, you a property, you stay at home, you be quiet, you pop your pills, we get this money.
And not Bob, I think the messaging though. Like since they
that's American value.
I'm just highlighting. I'm not disagreeing, but I'm highlighting that the messaging is actually the effect on how we value ourselves.
Right.
So you're right where the original values come from. But I'm talking about when we talk about the culture, we're talking about hip hop. The effect is the value in the messaging of how we see ourselves. People overplay that hip hop creates the actions. They overplay.
You know what? I'm sitting up here thinking about, you know how like ecosystems work, and you know how hip hop was when it first started, where if you look back at when it first started in the 80s, the 90s, the early 90s, mid 90s or whatever, all of the things we're seeing today, they were there then, right? But it was authentic. It was people's real experiences. People didn't even look at it as a money grab because they didn't even understand how to get the money from it, right? What happens was when you live in an ecosystem, you have good, you have bad, you have praise, and you have predators. It's a natural thing, right? So what ends up happening is back then, yes, all of that stuff was part of hip hop, but it was natural because everybody was moving and grooving in a way where it was true to them, right? Whereas now people realize, hey, I could get money from doing something that is not true to myself, whether I'm passionate about this or not. And so you're throwing the ecosystem off. And so now you're becoming invasive because now it's a slew of, it's off balance. It's just a slew of one direction versus, you know, you had in the 80s and the 90s, you had artists that will challenge each other in the iron shopping iron type thing, and we'll say, oh, if Tupac's still around, this person wouldn't exist. If this rapper was around, this person wouldn't exist, because we knew that flow, we knew that balance, and we knew what their competition and what they were up against. Whereas now everybody is trying to be cookie cutter, bubblegum rap and do the same thing, and it's not any check and balances in the art itself.
Now that's
so I think that's
you got to look at the technology.
I try to sit here and think about, like, what is the grave difference between then and now? Because to be honest, we could go back into the 80s and the 90s and we could look at way worse than what we're seeing right now. But
the internet,
it was a natural environment, whereas this one is manufactured.
Yeah, like, I met a lot of studio gangsters back then.
Birdman and Project Pat.
Well, I met a lot of studio gangsters back then, and then I dealt with a lot of young people back then, Asia, that was coming from the suburbs into the projects, trying to look like they from the projects, because that the gangster image was being promoted. If we would have had Instagram in the 90s, all of us might be dead that's on this show right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The industry could control the narrative even better back then, because only a few people were out. In order to be out in the 90s and early 2000s, you had to have a record deal or funding. You had to go to a music studio. You didn't have a laptop that had everything on it. You know what I'm saying? You didn't have a platform that could go viral at any moment 20 years ago. You didn't have this 20 years ago. You know, so now you have these tools. Everyone has the tools that you need to put a message out, and I think that makes it more of a challenge. You know what I'm saying? And that's why people who know better can't be quiet, but we also don't control the algorithm either. You know what I'm saying? So it's a challenge. As somebody who's still out here in the fight, you know what I'm saying? It's an additional challenge that we just have to deal with, you know, but it's just the tools now. I won't say we were any more organic when we were young than they are now, because they believe they're being organic, just like we thought we were. But it was a lot of people faking the funk when I was working. I ain't never been on. I've always been a teacher. So even in the early 90s, when I was dealing with Crips and Bloods, if I was in a room with 10 Crips, 3 of them was gangsters, the other 7 was following the other 3. And same with vice versa. You know what I'm saying?
And I'm not saying that everybody was organic and everybody was pure and everybody was right and everybody was cold. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is it was a natural balance of it because of how things were done. It wasn't
ranking down.
You had it was a dog eat dog type of world, right?
Yeah.
Right now, it's not that type of thing. It's invasive. It's like weeds growing in your garden. Now you can have a garden. It's gonna be a whole bunch of bullshit in the garden. You know what I'm saying? And you gonna have some weeds in the garden that you could go and clip them and take them out. But it's a difference between them just naturally growing and they got natural predators or whatever the case may be versus it's just taking over your whole garden. And that's what's happening. It's like all the bullshit is invasive at this particular point.
Yeah.
Because
when you
people
can control
are more
the
okay with it. And it's so many people, you got so many people doing the BS and it's okay with the BS that the real can't even regulate the shit anymore.
Right. Like why would the MC Hammer come out on the 50 years of hip hop?
He should have, but he didn't.
Right. It used to be room for MC Hammer. It used to be room for a young MC. It used to be room for them. Even if we wasn't into it, it was room for a Tribe Called Quest. It was room for the Backpackers, the hieroglyphics, and things like that. You know what I'm saying? It seems like there's not a lot of room for that now. And again, whatever the dominant message is on the streets, that's what we're trying to emulate. And I think we would have done the same thing if we had the same tools.
Somebody asked earlier, what is the culture? I think, you know what I'm saying, we 50 years into it. I think we still defining the culture. You know what I'm saying? I think we still defining hip hop culture.
It's still young.
We still, like you said, 50 years old is still young. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we still defining the culture. We go through waves, you know, everything that changed stay the same. So, you know what I'm saying? We still defining it overall. Right. Now we getting to the point where we got moguls, we got billionaires, we got people really starting to have ownership outside of hip hop, but started with hip hop type shit. You know what I'm saying? So we still defining the culture. You know what I'm saying?
So what you saying? Sit back and relax and be patient. Let this shit ride out, huh?
Yeah, that's it.
But keep writing the narrative.
Enjoy the music. You know what I'm saying? Enjoy whatever type of music, because it's all out there. Whatever kind of shit you want to listen to, you can listen. You can find it. You know what I'm saying? So enjoy the music and let's shit.
Yeah, I mean, be a part of it, man. I'm still a part of hip hop culture. You know what I'm saying? I will be
more than music.
But my part, you know, whatever my role is in hip hop culture, that's what I'm a part of, you know. But you know, we have to be careful as a culture, though, as a people, because you're talking hip hop culture, then you have black culture. They coincide. They're not always the same thing. Not everybody black is into hip hop, and you're not required to be into hip hop just because you black. You know what I'm saying? And so we just got to watch that. We got to watch our core values. Like Preem say, sometimes it's hard to let go of the music, even though we know it's detrimental to our children. So sometimes we got to get back to the whole thing where you ain't listening to that with me. I ain't playing it around you. You know, I enjoy Richard Pryor, but I don't have my children in the room. I'm not looking at Richard Pryor. I'm not looking at certain comedians, that sort of thing. You know what I'm saying? And then it's just, you know, some of that stuff. Censorship is good in the household. Be aware of what your children listen to. You be the one to explain sex to them. You be the one to explain drugs to them. And you got to explain it early now, because somebody going to tell them. So you got to explain it early.
So get to them before Sexy Red tell them they booty hole brown.
Well, tell them. No, I mean, you got to teach your kids about their anatomy. I know the Hoorah Academy, especially the campus, they got a great anatomy class. You know what I'm saying? Where they know the clinical terms for it, the slang terms for those things, and all of that. You got to let them know, because if you don't, somebody else gonna tell them.
And not to take it to another subject is, if somebody touch a kid and they not calling it the right thing, these pedophiles and stuff, they could get off if they not calling it the right term. Yeah. So I don't even see why it's anything wrong with just telling the kids the truth when it comes to that. I look at it like this is how I grew up. My parents was like this: if you ask, then you know enough. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna tell you the truth. That's how it was for my parents. It's like they carry. in order for you to get curious, you know a little something, and I need to explain this to you in a way and make you understand it, so you won't go down the wrong road, because that curiosity was sparked from somewhere. You know, you ain't never had them conversations before. Go ahead and keep it real, because you never know what's gonna come after that. So I don't see anything wrong with it. It's just science and anatomy. Everything don't have to be sexualized when it comes to that.
Right.
I don't think we let it off the hook with it's just young. We still defining it because I love the age of to me the age is the biggest point of it. And the reason there was room for the young MC and the MC Hammer was DeAsia's point when you think about just the idea of the culture being this. At that time, MCs always talk about how you needed to be different to even have a chance of being, you know, the culture was you couldn't be like another. And when DeAsia pointed out, when the money actually started coming into, that's when you started getting people coming to copy or the weeds, as y'all mentioned. So if we're honest about there's too many weeds in overtaking the garden, then you can't just sit back and let it develop. There's going to just continue to be more weeds. I'm not saying I have the answer. I'm just highlighting that DeAsia point is very, very more prevalent than we're recognizing when we say we're just too young and just let it grow. More weeds are taking over for the reasons that we talked about. And kind of be a
man, like he would say, man, I'm just gonna pick what I like out the garden.
Say it again.
I'm just gonna pick what I like out the garden.
Yeah, I mean that's all you could do right now at this point, because it is what it is.
And plant some seeds.
I'm not
trees in the garden.
And this might sound crazy. I honestly feel like we're in a better space than we were at a particular time, because to me, I think that hip hop is starting to become more fun again and more like just party type again. That's what it seems like it's getting back into that.
Yeah. No, it is though.
And I think we're better. Like, to be honest, I feel like it's headed in a better direction than people actually think. It's because hip hop didn't start off so serious. Then it got serious. You had the revolutionary type rappers, Public Enemy and all of that. Then you had the women coming in, and you know, your Queen Latifah's, MC Lights, Roxanne, all them, they coming in doing their thing. Then you got the gangster rap, they doing their thing. It's so many different. If y'all think about it, I like all types of music. So I went to college and I actually studied music, and I watched how the evolution of like classical music, romanticism, avant-garde, how hip-hop came out the avant-gardism and all that kind of stuff or whatever. And you had sacred music, and then you had them mad at secular music and all that kind of stuff. It's so many different evolutions of music, and it speaks to that particular generation or what have you. To I feel as though that if we don't embrace it and we try to like just point fingers and not embrace it, then the people who you're pointing the finger at has no other choice but to rebel, because at that particular time, that's the voice and the sound for them. At this time right now, it's a voice and it's a sound for the people right now. It's not for our old asses, to be honest. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think
all at the same
damn
time.
sure ain't talking to me.
We do need to understand what's going on to guide our own children, but understand that these artists, they're going to evolve in their own way. I think they need to be a little bit more authentic and be true to themselves and actually bring the passion instead of being gimmicky about it. I think that is what's causing the real problem at the end of the day, is nobody actually is showing legit passion. And because of that, everybody is robbing hip hop and looking at it as a money grab and not pouring back into it. It's like they're not helping it grow. It's like, I'm gonna get in, get out, and get whatever I can. So right at this time, it's a stick up. You know what I'm saying? Hip hop is being robbed for real. You know what I'm saying? And it's nobody just really just being passionate and you know, carrying that torch. And now you got the old heads and the people trying to gravitate towards the younger people to keep it afloat, because if we lose that passion, it is gonna die off eventually, because it's going, especially when it getting back to that fun, you know, enjoyable type thing, and it could very well start turning into like some pop type shit, and we don't want that.
Well, yeah, it's starting to in a way. It's starting to in a way, but I will say, to your point though, I don't think these kids is as much on gangster rap as we was. I don't think they into like gangster rap, like that shit, like Snoop, and you know what I'm saying, like they got their version. They got their version of drill rap.
They don't get it twisted.
I mean, yeah, they got their version. They got their version, but it don't seem like they. To me, it don't seem like a lot of them into it. To me, like they was when we was young. To me,
well, you know, a lot of these children ain't outside, man. They on Roblox.
Yeah, see, that's the thing.
They experience ain't our experience, so their expression is gonna be different. You know, I know children that listen to video, black kids in the hood that listen to video game themes, because that's the only music they listen to all day long. You know, one kid put, Baba, can I play something? And I was like, yeah, play something. I'm thinking he's finna play some R&B, some hip hop. Do 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 beep. And he just jam like, it's my jam right here.
Mario was running out of time.
Yeah, he treated it like a song. I'm like, man, what? Really?
Yeah, I think the age is right. It's like it's just now switching for the youngest kids, or whatever, because the drill music has ran its course, and that's teenagers up. The basically doing exactly what Bob was talking about, and that is the switch that I think the age is recognizing. I think she's recognizing that that's the new wave that's about to come about for the reasons Baba just talked about.
Yeah, but we also, like they teach music in school, we need to teach hip hop. Like our program Sound Incorporated that we had in the hood, teach hip hop, man. Teach the culture. Give youngsters an opportunity to express themselves, to use the tools, to use the cultures. You know, let's not do hip hop like we did the blues. You know, B.B. King then was playing for all white people when they got older. We'll treat a genre like it's just for the young generation, not realizing that it can evolve. Like when I write for brothers my age. I don't try to write for young people. I build schools for young people.
I
do hip hop for 40 and 50. What'd you say, DH?
I said I sure like to know how that sounds for the people your age.
Yeah, it sounds like it sounded in the 90s. It sounds like in its messages we talk about our women with stretch marks and shit. We ain't talking about all that.
Oh, okay, well that's good.
You know what I'm saying? We like the stretch mark. We like that. You know, we laid back now. We got grandbabies. We got children. I'm not gonna ignore them and act like I'm living a 25-year-old lifestyle. That ain't what I'm living. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of these cats, if they stop trying to act like they 25 years younger, you know what I'm saying? It focus on their reality. We can get a lot more done, you know. But we need to we got to act like we 25 in order to enjoy hip hop, man. As soon as they started mumbling and saying shit I didn't understand, I said, okay, man, I'm out the mainstream. I'm in a niche market now. I ain't in that no more, and it's okay.
I took my time to decipher it.
Huh?
I took my time to decipher it and enjoy it.
Yeah, that's cool. I try to decipher, but I'm not sitting there because they ain't talking to me. I'm listening because I work with them. I teach them, but I'm not sitting there. That ain't for me. I'm sitting like,
yeah. But you know what, Baba? I'm gonna tell you this that's so crazy. I don't like that Pound Town song by 6'3". I do not like that song, right? It's not, but I like her. I actually like her, but I don't like the song. I like her because people try to play in her face. And I like when hood chicks just really be themselves. I like that shit because a lot of people, they'll accept behavior for somebody that don't look like them. Right, you know, so I fuck with Sexy Red. But Supreme liked that dumbass song, right? And I was at karaoke last weekend at my homegirl birthday party, and we did karaoke. And it was it was multi-generations or whatever. So we doing our Key Sweat and we doing all of that. So I was not expecting for somebody to get on the mic and start rapping some damn Pound Town. But it got so lit when the girl grabbed the mic and she was like, Oh, I'm going to Miami. Like, it was so lit. And I was like, I was vibing to the damn song, and I actually didn't like it. I was like, it's actually lit in certain environments, right?
Yeah, that's how I be.
I was like, damn,
that's how certain songs
was so lit up in there. They was doing Young Boy and all of that, and I was like, this is lit. I had a good time. But me just sitting up thinking about I'm finna voluntarily get in my car and turn this on. No. But in a certain type of environment, it slaps. Like it went hard. So I think we gotta pick and choose and
that's the beauty of
make sure things are we are compartmentalizing and putting things in perspective and making sure that we are actually listening to certain songs in the right type of environment. Because it's different if you do. I promise.
And we gotta figure out, and I'm not saying I know the answer, I have an opinion. We gotta figure out the impact even on us as adults that some of these messages are having, or these values are having on our ability to maintain our families and maintain our situations. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to decide where your values lie. A lot of these songs just fun and it's live. You know what I'm saying? But we have to be careful and honest about whether or not that's bleeding over into how we dealing with each other in the real world, you know. And so
I've been lost control over here, so fuck it.
Yeah, because I will say some of these, the only thing I don't like about older women listening to your Pound Towns and your, you gotta flew me out, your Birkin bag. If he ain't buying me no Birkin or whatever the case, all that stupid ass shit. Like, you got women that's, in their mid-30s, they middle-aged women, and they talking about, oh, he gotta buy me a Birkin, he gotta do this. You think you a city girl. Now you tripping. The younger girls that's doing it, let them have fun and do that, because we all had our time to do it. But you middle-aged and you sitting up here talking about, oh, he gotta do this, he gotta do this, he gotta get, bitch, you gonna have to, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Move some pots around.
Middle-aged women want to go to Pound Town.
Yeah, middle-aged women. That's when Pound Town be lit, when you middle-aged, because we done figured out our body. We don't give a fuck. That's when Pound Town be lit.
And I ain't gonna lie, I done seen a couple of middle-aged rappers.
What Baba was saying about listening to the music and how it can influence older people, where they sitting up here thinking that they could have the same expectations of someone that is in their prime, and bitch, you in your peak, like you finna dwindle out. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you're not there anymore, bitch. The candle about to get blown out on your ass. Stop it.
Yeah. I think some of the middle-aged rappers, female rappers that are still beautiful and gorgeous, gotta figure out that even when you 45 and fine, it's different in bikini draws and stuff. Like, you still got it ain't the same. You know what I'm saying? Like I've seen a couple of them where it looked like granny panties on, and I'm like, you still got a shape, but it's a grown shape now. It's a different kind of vibe. So don't try to keep up with these young cats. You don't look the same. At 51, I don't look the same in a outfit with cut up jeans and shit. Like, I don't look like a 25-year-old looking.
Yeah, even if you're still in shape, it's still
right. Even if you're still in shape, you still get elbow meat. Like, it's certain shit that you gonna get with age.
I had no potato salad arms. Baba, I mean, you got the potato salad arms.
But I'm all right. I've been working on them a little bit, but I got the old man shoulders. I got all that. You know what I'm saying? All that shit. And so a lot of old brothers, we ain't taking them to Pound Town. We're taking them to Pop Town. And so it is what it is. They ain't talking to us. Let these young people do their thing, but at the same time, don't be quiet. I'm an old head. It's my job to tell you the truth. It's my job to tell you, hey man, that can lead to this, that can lead to that. You don't have to listen, but I do have to tell you. So don't be quiet, old heads. Do not be quiet, because there are young people that are listening. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, young people, you either learn from somebody telling you or you learn from living it. Either way, you gonna learn. It is what it is.
And that's the best message right there. And that's, in my opinion, because that allows for correct information. Think about what you just said about ladies listening to that music even in their mid-30s. So if we're seeing mainstream music have that effect on grown people, then that's why you have people saying, hey, this being in the mainstream is an issue, especially for our children, if we know it affects us in our 30s and 40s. Like,
yeah, but the thing is, you could control and you could supervise what these kids do, but you can't once you get in your mid-30s, you too far gone then at that particular point.
No, I agree. I'm just highlighting that when people are saying, hey, why is this a mainstream song? The reason they're going why is because if we're admitting that somebody in their 30s can be influenced, imagine what it's doing to the children. So the dialogue be there, like Baba said, like we still have to talk about it. Like we're not being hypocritical. We're just saying, hey, this is in the mainstream.
Yep. That's true. Well, this is one of those conversations that's reoccurring. It's a whole lot to unpack. It's a whole lot to discuss. I don't think this is our first or last time of having this type of conversation, because I think this is really good to talk about these type of things, because it's just, I think just actually being honest about it, assessing everything, seeing things how they are and not how we want it to be, will help move the culture forward. And I thank you guys for coming on. Black Socrates, Baba Amin. Anybody got any last words before we get into this trivia question? I ain't gonna even do the school post because we already done touched on every aspect of that, so ain't no sense for doing it. That's redundant. Y'all got anything else to say before we get into this hip hop trivia question regarding this topic to tie it up in a bow?
Just shout out to the hip hop school, past and present.
This show is this whole y'all whole show is fire. Y'all was on point all night. DeAsia, you was killing it. I just wanted to say you killed it tonight, Seth. I was watching the whole show.
I'm starting to get tired of how much you just be on DeAsia's doc, man.
I can't hear nothing now because both of y'all was talking, so I missed it.
I'm sorry. I just gotta speak up, man. God dog, he's saying good shit. Rich Ross be saying good shit, but God dog, man, you just been riding DeAsia jock all night. I just don't know.
Who was riding my jock?
Black Socrates. God dog. Sometimes I listen to the show of Black Socrates come on, and he don't never. Have y'all ever had an argument?
Who, me and Black Socrates?
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Well, you must have tore his ass up because he sure agree with you on everything.
No, me and Black Socrates, we disagree more than we. I'm gonna tell you something. It's not necessarily. It might look at it like, okay, I agree with this, I agree with that, or whatever. It's not that with us. It's like one of those things where we could pull something. We could not agree with you, but we could also pull something from what you said and get an understanding about what you're talking about. And it sounds like somebody, just dick riding, but that's not the case.
Well, I didn't want to say dick riding because you're a sister, but I'm just saying.
I ride dick, you could say it.
It's the case. It's the case.
If that's the case, I'm just you know what I'm saying?
Oh, so y'all saying, oh, that's what it was. Because I'm the truth. Y'all,
I love you, Black Socrates. That's my brother.
I'm fucking with you, Black Sock.
Hey, Barbara, anytime you on this show, man, you kill it, man. I was telling Rich I was looking forward to watching because you was coming on. Because I don't normally get to watch the Friday, so I was happy to be watch. I watched the whole.
When you hit us with the invasive species.
Oh, the ecosystem. Oh yeah, I already knew I was in my bag. You heard me? I was in my bag. Nobody fuck with me then.
Is he comparing hip hop to the ecosystem or the top of the food chain and the predators and the subspecies? And I was like, oh shit!
I was in my. I get in that zone. When I get in that zone and I pull that trigger, oh God, you can't fuck with me then.
We had the hip hop school, baby. You never know what you're gonna learn. You feel?
That's right.
We had to take them to class.
He's always bring the balance to the shit. This nigga gets on my fucking head, man. I need to say, I always learned at the hip hop school. It should be right,
this show would go completely off the rails if it wasn't for Heezy. That's all I got.
Like Heezy cool beans.
Hey, look, Heezy is the he like the equalizer. He gonna make sure we stay on track because we'll fuck around and get us canceled.
No.
Right.
Hey, no, because at the end of the day, sometimes when you see me do this, I ain't got nothing to say. Just do your motherfucking thing. You know what I'm saying? Just do your thing. I can't control y'all motherfuckers. Shit.
Yes, indeed. But y'all, let's go ahead and get into this trivia question.
That's only behind the scenes. But anyway,
I enjoyed it.
You ain't got to jump off and get into the trivia question.
All right, Black Rock.
Okay, this week hip hop trivia question is: what was the name of the song Coolio sampled for his song "Gangsta's Paradise"? I don't think anybody tried to answer that.
Somebody answered, but they didn't put the name in the song.
You the guest, Bobby, man. You the shot.
That was the easiest.
Oh, I know that's Stevie Wonder, man. That's Stevie Wonder. Pastime Paradise off the Keys, the Songs of the Kid Life album.
That's the easiest trivia I've ever had.
Let me tell you something, Bobby. I made it easy because for the last 2 or 3 months, I just been busting with some incredible trivia questions. Right, it's been hard. They ain't been guessing. So I was like, man, let me ease up on these motherfuckers, man. Throw something out there. Yeah. So man.
Yeah. Now, if y'all ain't heard, anybody out there ain't heard Stevie
Wonder about something, you throw something out there. You don't even be knowing the answer to your own trivia questions.
I do be knowing the answer, man.
And then if you got a trivia question that we know the answer to, you get mad at us for answering it.
right. That's the thing about it. I could have been answered that one. I just ain't saying
like a true principle. And that's one of the greatest albums of all time, man. I still listen to that album from time to time. You know what I'm saying?
That's my shit. That's my shit right there.
Yeah, hip hop 50 years, man. We pull from the best. Our culture pull from the best of black music to recreate it into something great. So yeah, man.
Hey, Baba, man, tell the people what you got going on, brother, man.
Man, you know, Uhuru Academy, of course, our K through 12 private school is now enrolling. Slots are filling fast, though. You know, we believe in quality over quantity. I'm excited, man, because we enrolled 3 families in Ghana this week, you know, and so we in Africa now, which is really cool, you know what I'm saying, with our online program. So that's popping off. School starts September 5th, so it's not too late. What we enroll year round because we're in a crisis. Operation Reconnect Adult Education also jumping off. Go to uhuruacademy.com. If you are 16 and up and you stopped out of school, need your high school diploma, get with Uhuru Academy. We got you. Also, we doing professional training, man. If you got plugs at your school district and you know your teachers need to learn how to teach, they need to bring me in because we training teachers now, you know, and we just did our first one down in Waco a couple of weeks ago, and I'm still getting calls. They already calling me to come back in October, you know what I'm saying? So we got that jumping off as well. I'll be in Fort Worth, Texas, August the 12th. We having a community education forum. I want the fam to come out. We're gonna have the superintendent there and representatives from the school board, and I got them thinking it's gonna be sweet too. So I need the hood to come out and show them otherwise. You know, we did a nice cushy flyer and everything, and they think it's gonna be the run of the mill, but I'm showing up and I'm presenting, and we're gonna tell them what it is. We're gonna come up with a black education agenda for Fort Worth, you know what I'm saying? And so that's just some stuff we got jumping off. And shout out to my beautiful wife in Koyo, man. She jumped off Uhuru Mama Birthing Services as a midwife. She just had her first solo delivery right here on our land, man. And mama and baby is happy and healthy, and to watch and Koyo be proud and find her passion is great. So I just want to give her a shout out because I'm proud of her.
So you also have your hands in a film that's coming out about Marcus Garvey.
Yes. We got the film, short film, Mosiah. Actually, he's just gonna be in your hometown in September at the Detroit Film Festival.
I heard about it.
Check that out. But the movie's called Mosiah. Y'all go to mosiahthemovie.com. Short film. My good brother, Gerard of the DigiBees is a director. They brought me on as a consultant. So, I was one of the ones talking to them about Garvey and the history. The young brother that plays Garvey in the film looked just like Garvey, talk just like Garvey. It's an amazing project. So yeah, definitely check out Mosiah the movie. It's a 30-minute short now, but the way it works, if we support it, we can go back in. We got enough footage to make it a feature film. You know what I'm saying? So it's a great film.
And you also got some podcasts. I done seen about 17 podcasts, man. What's going on?
Man, Uhuru Media, we got to do what we got to do. So you can check out Fight the Algorithm, me and Dr. Bomani on Mondays. Me and my sister, Dr. Stacy Parker, we do the PPP, the People's Perspective podcast on Saturdays. As a matter of fact, we're going live tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern time. Of course, me and Mama and Koyo got He Say, She Say with Baba Amin and Mama and Koyo Saturday nights, late night, doing what we got to do. The Asia fell through the other time, was in the comments a couple of weeks ago, had us laughing and arguing at the same time. Quick causing trouble in my house. But going on, and yeah, man, still doing that, man, still doing that. Shout out to John Gales out there doing his thing in DeSoto, using that Uhuru Academy method, #1 teacher in DeSoto 2 years in a row. Turn his classroom into a mini Uhuru Academy. Our stuff translates, So yeah, man, we out there doing our thing, raising these babies. And that's it, man. And I love y'all, and I don't mind telling y'all, I'm proud of y'all, man. We all family, we all locked in. Bring back RBG Family Weekend.
Yes, God. And I like your saying Kofa had too, Baba. I mean, if the people out there watching, they ain't woke, they'll think it was Duckhead. It's saying Kofa, baby.
We got it.
Hey, also, man, appreciate the new intro, man, for the Stiff On Sports Show, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Hey, that Stiff On show gonna be out. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking forward to just be. Y'all invite me on there sometimes too. I can chop it up about sports too.
Oh, you already know. So
we still tight on the mic. You know what I'm saying? I do mostly jingles now.
Hey.
But what I'm saying? We do what we can do. But look, I told myself if I lose 20 pounds, I'm gonna do an album. So
look, when you did that like I be having I ain't gonna even tell no lie with the Still Farm intro that you had did. It was a certain way that I wanted it to build up, but sometimes you can't put it into words. I be having a hard time explaining it, but they heard what I was trying to say. And I'm like, when I listen to it, I'm like, this is exactly what I was talking about. I wanted it to build up like the fire, that visual is dramatic, and then it just go in, and it's so hard. I be listening to it in the car.
Oh man, that's what's up, man. Coming from y'all and coming from UPA, that means a lot. So look, I don't care what I'm doing and where I'm going and what I'm into with certain people that can call me for anything. You know what I'm saying? Supreme Rock Africa is one of them people, you know what I'm saying? And yet y'all whole squad, no matter what I'm into, I ain't too big to do a jingle. I ain't too big to do anything for beautiful Black people that's doing beautiful things. So
thank you. You and Crazy, y'all definitely like being very, very instrumental in what we got going on, and we definitely appreciate it a whole lot.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
I think this is what it's all about.
That's right.
Networking, everybody using their talents in places that it needs to be used, because
that's right.
We might not be able to do what you're able to do. You might not be able to do what we're able to do. It's a bartering system. We scratch each other back, and
that's right.
We just build a whole network just based off that, like where everybody's talent lies, and everybody is good for something, but we got to be able to point it out and put it into perspective and make it happen. We ain't just sitting back just talking, we doing something.
Right. That's right. You can't be a great teacher if you're not a great student. So I'm learning I learn from everybody on this panel. So anytime somebody calls me a great teacher, it's a direct reflection of the people that I'm learning from. And y'all, some of the people that I learn from, that I look at, whose examples that I watch. You know what I'm saying? Supreme is my hip hop principal. You know what I'm saying? That's who I go to for hip hop knowledge. I'm not a hip hop historian. I'm a hip hop activist. You know what I'm saying? And he helps me keep things in perspective, so I don't go too hotep on everybody. I got to keep one foot in and stay on the ground. And I appreciate that. You know, he's one of the original Uhuru Academy families, the second family to trust us with their child. You know, I don't take that lightly. You know what I'm saying? And so yeah, y'all, I'm here, man. I'm part of the team.
We were trying to get some help with the kid.
But yeah. Hey. Yeah, so
you know, we came out the gate with it, like.
Hey, yeah. Speaking of hip hop, speaking of the culture, you know what I'm saying? Like we just talked about the Stiff Arm Sports Show. Y'all know how sports and hip hop is tied in, directly connected. So make sure y'all tune in every Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern. What is it? What we doing? 12 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Central, something like that. Just make sure y'all tune in Sunday.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, we're gonna figure it out.
We got
it's gonna be before the first game start, ain't it?
Yeah. We got football season coming up, so y'all make sure whoever your squad is, make sure y'all show up with your squad and rep your squad. You know what I'm saying? Every Sunday, get with us. Stiff Arm Sports Show.
Go Pack, go!
Subscribe to the channel if you ain't.
Green Bay, Asia.
Yes, indeed. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Make sure y'all like the video, share the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. We're about to tune out. Y'all have a good one.
The Hip Hop School, Past and Present Podcast.